Ariel, hi. That's all right. I didn't say much anyway. Seeger's mom, hi. Look at this, y'all. Thanks to our lovely Jenny, Live Silkies, we have a new look, the duct tape is still there from the old, what do you call this? Windshield holder. Anyway, look at this. This is so slick. Watch. Bam. Yep, sometimes the simplest things make me happy. I always be kind. So we do have this in your view, but oh, we can turn it. Oh, so smooth. Look at that. So thank you, Jenny. If you guys haven't checked out the Live Silkies, check them out. If you for those of you that have never raised birds or watched birds, chickens and ducks are some of the, there, I got it tight now, it shouldn't wobble around. Yeah, chickens and ducks are some of the funniest things to watch, and they're so calming. If you just sit and watch the chicken pen, they can relax you so much. So I told you my favorite podcast is Wine and Crime. I've mentioned that before. Ah, you know, it very rarely strikes me that maybe somebody doesn't know who I am. Maybe you've stopped by and you don't know who I am. I'm J Matt. Pluck the patriarchy. Plucky. Pluckosaurus Rex. Hungry Hippo. What else? What other names have I been given? Anyway, here I am. I got a ride, so y'all can ride along with me if you want. But anyway, my favorite podcast, Wine and Crime, they didn't have a couple of episodes over the holidays, and I missed them. So the other night I was looking for something to play while I fall asleep, and so I looked them up, and guess what? They come out on Thursday. The new episode this week, or just past week, was West Virginia Crimes. Hi, Tricky. Thank you. Hi, Are You Jellin? Hi, Special K. Scotty's fine. Yes, I know where Scotty is, and he's fine. I haven't talked to him, but I know where he's at. TNT, good morning. So we're going to listen to West Virginia Crimes and have some commentary. And, well, if we get in trouble, we get in trouble, but it is what it is. While I drive. Let's connect the speaker. I have everything charged up. I have battery packs charged up. I have the Wi-Fi. Let's see. The tablet's charged. The phone is charged. Everything's pretty much charged. So we should be in good shape. Thank you, Shelly. This should be a good day. I think it will. Let's see what's going on.
Armory, but 7 people were killed and 10 or more were injured. So 10 plus were injured.
Wine and Crime
I gotta
contains
start it
graphic
over.
and explicit content which may not be suitable for some listeners.
You guys
Listener
will,
discretion is advised.
Tell me if it's too loud. Oh. Once I get on the road, I won't be able to hear once I start driving. Miklos is in the house.
You are listening to
chilling
Wine
in the
and Crime,
back.
the podcast where 3 friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accent.
So let's talk about
Oh.
West Virginia crime.
Yeah.
We know a
Did you
little
see
bit
that
about
listener
West
who
Virginia
posted
crime,
on
don't we?
social
Isn't
media
this the
that
cutest
their
little gas
ex-boyfriend
station?
was like making fun of them for being such a
I
wine
have
and
to
crime
wait till I
fan,
get
and he
signal.
like
That's
made
why
a
they broke
video. I don't know if that's why they broke
Hold
up,
on,
but
and now they're
divorced and like
And it's like,
Yeah, so I couldn't set up before I left the house because there's no signal. So I have to wait until I get signal and pull over and turn everything on and oh. Why is my window? Hold on, I gotta open my window. My mirror. My mirror's closed up. We are going to Berkeley County, West Virginia. Berkeley County, West Virginia. Mountain Mama. Oh. They love us there. When will there be justice in Berkeley County, West Virginia? How much money do we have to spend before we get justice in Berkeley County? Anyway, look at this truck. Isn't that cute? Tractor truck. Yeah, it's a tractor truck of some sort. All right, let's get on the road.
Sorry, JC. No. But he made some video making fun of the intro, like doing the intro, but then he like nailed the Minnesotan accent. So Andrea was just like, whatever, and posted it.
It's amazing.
you
Thank
think
you,
you're
Andrea.
humiliating your partner, but you're
Making them proud.
just
yeah.
flattering their favorite podcast.
Turns out you're just a gateway gal, and you didn't know it.
Yeah. Yeah, slippery slope.
All right.
Slip
Well,
slope.
who are we? I'm Kenyon.
Oh, I'm Lucy.
I'm Amanda.
Oh,
And,
TNT has
this
a
week we
ranch.
have a very special fan
ranch,
pick
a
brought to you by
Wanted to make sure
Andriana?
somebody had a ranch because I
Andriana?
can't read.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, he's got.
I
There's
don't know
going
how
to be a few
pronounce that, but
people
it is
there.
beautiful. Andriana Mail.
A few.
A
I don't know how many.
Mail.
But it
Oh,
sounds
I
like
thought you
she,
meant
her
a
pronouns.
Mail.
76
No,
will be there in full
I-
force
she, her
with flags
pronouns.
flying.
Let's start over.
According to the
Andriana,
Keep
You
it,
have-
keep it all.
You have the same last name as Peter Mail, who wrote lovely books about Provence in the 1990s.
wow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, this fan Picker has selected.
Wow.
This might not be as validating as my Bend It Like Beckham joke that like 50 people
No.
online were like,
Neither of them validating.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
All
people have
Twitter.
been coming out in support of the Bend It Like Beckham joke. So.
All the bisexuals.
Okay, Special K, thank you. I'm not sure where we're at, but I will find out today probably.
They, we, whatever, I don't know. So,
We are the best.
whatever. Fan Picker has selected the topic of West Virginia crime.
West
Mama
Virginia
crimes.
crimes.
Take me home to country road.
Okay.
Remember we drove through West
Yeah, I
Virginia
will.
for 8 minutes on our road trip.
For like 8 seconds. And yes.
We drove through that like weird little like.
Yep.
There's like
There's a
there's a
nubbin.
weird little
A nub. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
nub.
Yep. I know
It's
exactly the nub.
approximately 8 minutes long.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really a
Can
brief
you guys
nub.
hear?
Brief nub.
Is that the only time each of you have been to West Virginia?
Yes.
The podcast
Oh,
Wine
and I
and
think
Crime,
that was
Julie.
I'm good. Personally.
My aunt and uncle have a cabin there, and I've been a couple times actually, and it's really beautiful. And their neighbor, who has now passed away, probably unrelated to this, but there's no way to
There's
know.
no way to know.
What are you getting
Where the
at?
fuck is this going?
Well, he used to collect squirrel roadkill, and
That sounds like the most West Virginia.
If it
topic.
Did I tell you guys we roasted a squirrel the other night?
then cook it, and then
Killed and
put it
cooked
in
and ate a
cubes
squirrel.
and
I didn't
freeze
eat
it, and then
any,
he would just
but
have
the rest of the
like,
family
pop the
did.
cubes in his mouth for
I
a
think I
snack.
told you guys that already.
Frozen squirrel cube?
Yeah,
He was
he did
pretty,
them
he
for
was
life.
little and cute.
I mean, they were cooked.
That is also not exclusive to West Virginia, lest we be confused. It's Appalachia, baby.
I thought about it, and actually I was on the phone with Aunt when they brought it to show it to me. It was already gutted and cleaned, and they brought it to
I'm
show
putting
it to
out
me,
there.
and I was
have
on
a
the phone
beautiful
with Aunt,
steakhouse.
and I said something to him about
Okay.
I ought to stream the cooking of the squirrel.
To interject these anecdotes.
and
Okay,
Which
well,
is
I just
not
wanted
now.
to get ahead of
I don't
people.
know, we decided that would stir up too much drama.
Well, maybe
We
it
decided
will.
we better lay low
We
on that
always
one.
get these emails that are like, you didn't represent us. It's like, yeah, duh. That's the point.
We shit on everything. Yeah.
We shit on everything. We are
Including ourselves.
insufferable hags.
People shit on Minnesota
Uh-oh.
too.
What happened? It's not supposed to do that.
The only thing we have going for us is we're not Wisconsin, am I right?
I didn't get it tight enough.
All right. Well.
Yeah, and with the butchering of the rabbit and the burning of the stuffed toys and the way they take
So,
everything out of
I
hand.
actually really
Exactly,
mad at myself for
Special K.
already pairing.
They
hard
try to
rock
put a
food.
RO on me for eating a squirrel out of my own yard.
Yeah, well,
I timed it.
so
I
was
timed
looking up, I was
it.
trying to West Virginia.
I got lots of
adjacent,
nuts loose.
Wine or cocktail or something. So I started my search with favorite drinks in West Virginia and got milk, specifically raw milk. Because
Did
most
you guys
farmers
hear that?
just suck it
Favorite
straight
drink
from-
in West Virginia, raw milk.
I love it.
And Mountain
say
Dew.
that's pretty Iowa too.
That was milk and Mountain Dew were the top two.
Mountain
And,
Dew was
it's
next.
Are you
ish.
from West Virginia?
I don't think it is. But they fucking
What's the
love
speed
it.
limit here?
Yeah, their number
Probably
one
60.
sody pop.
Right.
So obviously I was not going to go down
We don't
either of those
speed.
paths because I just paired my Hard Mountain Dew. I do have one left, but I did go down a brief rabbit hole of cocktails that incorporate milk, but I find milk repulsive, so I quickly stopped that search.
Besides the white
Especially
Russian.
regurgitated milk.
Who likes white
Yeah, and I
Russians?
didn't
I
have
love
the-
white
I would have just done a
Russians.
White Russian, which actually would be really good. But I didn't have all the
Too
fixes
early
it.
for
So
a white Russian.
then I pivoted and went for most popular cocktail in West Virginia, which thank God Almighty was gin and tonic. But I didn't want that either, so I am drinking a fizzy black cherry lime hard seltzer fortified with antioxidants and vitamin C because I'm healthy.
Yeah.
What are you selling?
It's about 3 hours, Special K, and I'm staying with a friend.
From Oyster Bay, 'cause it was what was open in my fridge.
I love
that
stuff.
shit.
Yeah.
The OCB.
Yeah,
Tastes
some
good.
tea from Oyster Bay.
Well, I had a little bit of vodka earlier, so I am currently drinking water. But I also
A
have
friend of
a little
the
bit
Fab
of these
Four
for later.
is giving me a bed for the
On my way.
night.
All right.
I hope.
Well, this has 2 carbs, less than 1% juice, and is 5% ABV. Shall we crack?
Let's drink it.
Here we go.
That was like
Wow.
a commercial crack.
It was.
Yeah, what's
I think the pause halfway through helps get the
John, isolate that crack and let's reuse it.
isolate this crack, bitch.
Oh,
Cheers.
I do
I don't know. I
have to
love
stop
you.
and get
Cheers.
fuel.
Cheers.
Hi, American girl.
All right.
So raise your glasses of
How are
milk
you
and
this
Mountain Dew
morning?
to West
Is it
Virginia.
noon? It's not even morning
Actually,
anymore.
while Lucy does her segment, I'm going to look up what the fuck Appalachian cocktail Zach had us drinking a couple years ago when we first moved here. He was so excited, and it involved Mountain Dew, and it was nasty. I'm
It
going
was
to
like
figure it
a
out.
mixed drink with Mountain Dew.
Yeah, and it was like an Appalachian special.
I used to drink 3 Olives Mountain Dew flavored vodka with soda water because it just
Oh,
tasted like Mountain Dew.
You and I had that. We had a
At your white trash party.
Yeah, I don't think we should say white trash though. Can we?
White people are not oppressed, so we can say white trash.
Okay. Well, we had a,
supposed to, but whatever. Yeah.
we did have a white trash party at my former
Yeah, let's
apartment.
see. Yeah,
And it was Mountain Dew
Always be
flavored
kind.
vodka
Yeah.
with like
Well-
7-Up.
okay, I made it out of the house before 1 o'clock today. That's pretty darn
We
good.
went to Target.
We did go to Target.
I wanted to be out by 9 a.m.
Great time
I
to
love
run
Don't
errands.
ever count on me to be on time.
Okay, Lucy. What's our background and maybe
Like
side
I'm already
for
2
West
days
Virginia?
late. Mountain Dew and Captain Morgan. I don't
Secrets out.
drink Mountain Dew. I don't even like the taste of Mountain Dew.
What? They fell out.
And I don't like the way it makes me jittery. But I drink strong coffee.
I wasn't looking at your.
I don't drink energy drinks either.
But we will get back to the snakes. Actually.
Very rarely. Has to be an emergency.
West
On the
Virginia,
road.
aka the Mountain State, is the 35th state, founded in 1863. The capital is Charleston, not to be confused with Charlotte or
We're
Charleston,
learning
South
something right
Carolina.
Hi, Vaughn.
Like, why? Why do all of these states have the same fucking capital? Like, being
Charleston.
creative.
Well, the English,
Captain
probably.
and Coke.
I mean, well,
You said it was
kind of
founded in
colonial.
I like
love
gin
it,
and
but,
tonic.
like,
You said it was founded in 1863, you said?
1860.
But the city of
Well,
Charleston
that's when it was-
predated.
Rock star. Oh my goodness.
West Virginia officially became a state only 54 years before Ellen was born.
Yeah, during the Civil War.
Yeah, your grandma's fucking old, and now
Was.
she's dead. Now she's dead.
She don't.
Bye-bye.
Hey y'all, hold on. I want to tell you something. So my therapist, my new therapist, is a young woman. I don't know TNT. I don't know where we're at on that. I heard that I saw a message that said we've made it, but I wasn't sure if that was meant to me. Anyway, my therapist is a young, very pretty, dark-skinned lady. And I asked her, I said, and she's from Lynchburg area. And I said, where do the black people hang out? Where do the people of color hang out? And she said, they don't let us. That's what she said. She said, we some hangout spots, like where they would have music or, you know, dance or whatever. She said, but I think on purpose they've closed all those places. I'm like, well, what does everybody do then? She said, well, go out to dinner and go home. Are we really so ancient that we're still making it that hard for businesses owned by people of color or frequented by people of color to stay open? What's going on with that in Virginia? Well, she didn't, you know, she didn't go into detail. She's not there to talk about the history of Lynchburg. You know, I guess I need to research that myself. I said, well, they have, yes, please do. That's fine. The raffle, yeah, ongoing. The thing is, there's ongoing need for legal fees, y'all. Ongoing need for legal fees, I'm sure. That was in, Always Be Kind. That was in Virginia. She lives in Lynchburg, Virginia. Post the link to the merch too. I accidentally, you know, I ordered a sweatshirt and a shirt, and either I ordered the shirt wrong or I got the wrong shirt, so I have to order another shirt. If somebody has the link to AP's store, that'd be cool too. Okay, back to wine and crime.
Anyway,
1860.
anyway, if we need another reminder
Seeger's
that
mom,
the
I believe
United
it's at
States
3.
is not that old.
Right.
Like,
Look no further than my grandma. Good lord. Yeah.
so the safe bird is a cardinal.
Today's
And Corey would
Sunday,
be
everybody's
really
at
pleased
church.
because it's
Loves
his favorite, but he
cardinals.
loves cardinals.
Loves them.
It has nothing to do with like
Good
the
day to drive,
like,
probably.
like all your dead loved ones come back as cardinals. It's like, no, he just really likes cardinals.
They're fucking cool.
They're red. There are a
They
ton
are
of
red.
them in Louisville, and
Oh, yeah.
the local teams or whatever, the U of L teams are the Cardinals.
He
Oh,
loves cardinals.
it's a good cardinal.
I love it.
What
I
are you
love it.
sad about?
So their West Virginia state flower is the rhododendron. And it's the country's third
58
most
people in
forested
here and only
state. It's
12
got a lot
thumbs
of
up.
trees.
What's going on?
Yeah, I was during my research. I read that 78%
Hit that like
of
button.
the state is forested.
Like,
Yeah.
share,
Which
subscribe.
is
Most of
wild.
it. Yeah. Like, I think Maine probably tops that, but we talked about Maine, and Maine is insane.
Yeah.
Maine is insane.
Yeah.
I love
At
Maine.
your own state.
I love that story. You're so insane. I love it.
She's in Maine.
You're so in Maine.
You take the girl out of Maine, but not the Maine out of the girl.
You can take the girl to Maine one time and she'll tell you she's from there.
Like 3 hours of sleep in 3 days. It's fine.
West Virginia is also famous for its salt, so wild buffalo and deer gathered to lick natural salt deposits, and Native Americans and colonists gathered the salt
Oh,
to cure
Hunger
butter
Games
and
is
preserve
good. Yeah,
meats.
Julie.
And
I never
today, salt
finished it. I
deposits are
should go
still
back
mined
and do
for
it
rock
again.
salt, which is then used to create chemicals such as chlorine. So West Virginia fuels our pools.
Wow. Okay. And hot tubs.
Yeah.
I found out what the cocktail was that Zach made.
What was it?
It is
Post
called
away,
the
post
Hillbilly
away, post
Margarita.
away.
Love tequila and Mountain Dew.
Tequila and Diet Mountain Dew. Regular Mountain Dew is apparently too sweet. Margarita salt is optional, and you also just need it in a tall glass of ice. In parentheses, this is not meant to be a pretty drink.
Hey, Mother Nature, are you here yet?
Really good.
I'm gonna include the photo and a photo of the recipe.
I'm gonna make one of those for my holiday beverage this year.
I don't like it.
Do not recommend.
Well, you're not coming over for my holiday, so you don't have to like it.
Ew, look at it.
She's raffling a one-of-a-kind shirt, right? One-of-a-kind DOA shirt. Tonight at 9 o'clock. Get your raffle tickets, people.
There you go.
It's disgusting. Ew, she did it. God. All right, as almost always.
Even you enemies, get your raffle ticket. Get your DOA shirt. You can turn around and
I didn't
resell
do
it.
it once and I got harangued.
Yeah, no. Honestly, even if we're not doing a state episode, I think you should just pick a flag.
Lucy's flag.
It's a random flag.
All right, let's
Bordered by a blue stripe, which is supposed to represent like the Union, with the coat of arms of West Virginia in the center, wreathed by rhododendron. Maximum, as we discussed, is the state flower. It also just looks like a Christmas tree, like holly. It's like it seemed really seasonal.
Can I guess what the
I'm
last
going to court with Scotty
Sure.
Like
tomorrow.
mountain town.
mountains? Oh,
And I'm going to hang out with a
You're
friend.
really close, but you're not.
forever free. Nope.
Love you,
Just let me get
son.
to it. My God.
Did you tell me happy birthday?
Don't have
You are very, very close. Okay.
Are we gonna cover
Thank
the red
you for
hat?
all the happy birthdays. I got like 80-some
Topped by
happy
an
birthdays on
unfurled red
Facebook.
ribbon reading, quote, State of West
Hi,
Virginia.
Sassy
It
Pants.
is the only state flag to bear crossing rifles, which are meant to illustrate the importance of the state's fight for liberty during the Civil War
Get
as
your
the
raffle
Southern
ticket.
Unionist state, as well, one
Help
of the
out
Southern
with the
Unionist
legal
states, which
funds.
means they're technically below the line, but they're just anti-secession.
Yes. And that's why they were created, was to like even out the map, basically.
Kind of. We'll sort of get to like Civil War sort of shit because it was really messy. Across the bottom of the state flag is a tied red ribbon with the state's Latin motto, Montani Semper Liberi, which means mountaineers are always free.
Oh.
So you were really fucking close. But mountaineers, like as a noun, are always free. In front of the boulder lie two crossed hunting
There's
rifles
nobody
and
here
a
with me. It's
tree
the Wine and
shooting
Crime
cap.
podcast.
AKA
elf hat.
It's called a cap of liberty.
In half a
and
mile,
also-
turn left
okay,
onto
so I
Virginia
was
6
talking
West.
Did I
about
text
this
back?
earlier.
I'm sure I
The
did.
first state flag we looked at, the cap was pink, and he was like, oh, there's pink slime
Oh,
oozing
sure.
from where
Oh,
the
because the
guns
speed
are
limit is
crossing each
50.
other. I'm like, what? This is gonna be the best state flag ever.
Coming out of those rifles.
No.
Take
But
the next
it was-
left onto Virginia 6 West.
In most iterations, it's red.
Oops.
Some of them were orange. I guess at least one was pink. But it's supposed to be this little triangular cap of liberty.
Yeah, it looks like Ebenezer Scrooge's
Yeah,
that's
nightcap.
interesting.
Yes.
Like sleeping cap.
Ghost of
Yeah,
Christmas
so-
past.
So
Continue
it has,
on Virginia
it
6
has some
West for
history
6
of,
miles.
Eastern European people
Tradition,
who fight each other. I don't know. It's supposed to be like the libertarian hat, essentially. Not like
I like it
libertarian, but like
slightly less.
I mean, libertarian means something different to us than it does in like 1700s Eastern Europe. But
No, but still, it's just
Yeah,
Yeah,
they came
but
to
it's the-
signify freedom and the pursuit of liberty in the
Sassy
American
Pants, you
Revolution
want to
and
be
the
head of class today?
yeah, it's just it's people who will bring a signifier of liberation, essentially. There are these like red stocking caps. So also on the flag are two men, which represent a farmer and a miner, and they stand on either side of the boulder and represent agriculture and industry. The farmer stands on the left with an axe and a plow before a corn stalk and a sheaf of wheat. And the miner stands on the right with a pickaxe and behind him 2 barrels, an anvil, and a sledgehammer. So, like a lot of these like state flags, they just represent like the state's major industries. Yeah.
Two things that I want to bring up. One, another term for these hats is cockades.
Love that. You got me
I
back.
love anything that
one.
has the word cock in it.
Yup, sure do.
I asked
then
Sassy,
feel
will you be had a class
is
today?
maybe the most
With
representative.
the
quotes for
signal.
those not
I've got, but
Right.
we'll still go in and out of signal,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
What is now the United
Isn't
States?
this
I feel
nice?
like
This is
they just
beautiful.
and things like that were to the region of West Africa. Around 14,000 years ago, hunting woolly mammoths and dodging saber-toothed cats. Lucky.
I would like to bring back woolly mammoths.
I know.
I'd like to bring back saber-toothed cats.
Okay with that. But woolly mammoths are amazing.
Yeah, there's some
Mammoths.
back woolly mammoths.
There are also people here
Called
2,500
Big D.
years ago building mounds, like, you know, burial mounds and just like ceremonial mounds and things that we can recognize today as like our architectural structures.
Sure.
But most of what is known outside of that revolves around tribes that lived in the region around the late 1600s. So when the white people came and started like writing shit down. So tribes forced to relocate in the mid 1800s. And there's a lot of speculation about that also.
So you
quote,
good, Demond,
the
today?
official state position of West Virginia is that there were no Indians, end quote,
Yeah, that sounds not.
said Wayne Acton with the Appalachian American Indian Association. The Shawnee had a particularly commanding presence along the Ohio River, but prevailing theory is that many tribes inhabited the area, some only seasonally, which might have
Like they didn't have any like permanent or not
Right.
many permanent settlements, but
Well,
they still were like
yes, a lot of tribes in North America before the Europeans came were Nottoway, Okanichi, Tutelo, and Saponi. But
name
there,
a few.
but there were a lot of tribes that either were in that area more or less permanently, but just like sort of inhabited it. But like, it's
Anybody
it's
heard from Laura?
It's in a there are a lot lot of animals in the area.
Yeah,
so.
a lush place for resources for sure.
Yeah, there's no reason they
Exactly.
wouldn't. Yeah, it's great.
Yep. So this is from Nat Geo. Nat Geo Kids, to be specific, on our level.
Yeah. Explain it to me like I'm 5, Nat Geo kids. Let's
Okay, here we go.
Explain it to me like you're Nat Geo
go.
kid.
Like, I know.
It's best to be
and
high
I'm the
when you're
younger
watching
sibling
these
of the
streams
sibling with
anyway.
the subscription.
Right.
I mean, I get it, but
I
just
get it,
so
but will you make
Yeah.
sure? I want to make sure you get it.
Right,
so.
Right.
Yeah.
So after the British arrived in the 1600s, the area that now encompasses West Virginia, Kentucky, and
In
parts
half
of
a mile,
North Carolina,
turn right onto
Delaware,
Virginia
Pennsylvania,
151
and
North,
New York
Virginia 6
were
West.
all called Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia
Virginia.
was
Virginia.
enormous.
It was an inch long.
In 1730, Virginia's British-controlled government offered 1,000 acres free to each European family
Yeah,
willing
me
to
too,
move to
Sass.
the area that would become West Virginia. So if you've ever, what's that Tom Cruise movie?
Take the next right onto Virginia
Mission
151 North,
no, it was
Virginia
like the
6
first
West.
movie that Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman did together.
Eyes
I
wide
think.
shut.
No, it was like another one. Whatever.
One where they're on a boat. There's like a boat involved.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, this is a Tom Cruise movie. It's about like it's about like westward expansion where they were like, oh,
Continue on Virginia
like,
151
I'm
North
gonna
for
shoot
8
off
miles.
the gun, and then you all run west, and then whoever plants a stake gets that property. You know what I'm talking about?
Yikes. Yeah.
Spartacus.
Sure.
Sure, whatever. Maybe Nicole Kidman wasn't in there, but Tom Cruise definitely was.
Okay,
And it's-
Nicole Kidman, email us and tell us what movie this is.
Dances with Wolves.
I could just Google it. I'm not going to. But anyway, it was the same westward expansion, the same if you get there first, you get
It's
it.
yours,
Congrats.
The
Yeah.
European colonialists will give you land that they don't rightfully own. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And if the indigenous people come after you, it's your fucking problem.
And you are free to
Do whatever you
deal
want
with
to them.
that problem with violence.
Exactly. So as a result, Native Americans' homelands were taken and tribes began to support the French in a land war against the British, which is often called the French-Indian War from 1756 until 1763.
I have an ancestor who was a white person who fought in that war and got scalped.
Oops.
Wow.
Get your raffle
Sorry.
tickets.
Sucks to suck.
I mean, it was awful. It was horrifically violent. I mean,
Yeah. Really, really, really violent, actually. And there are like theories that like the PTSD of people who fought in that war then contributed to the violence of the Revolutionary War.
Did you
I
guys
mean,
hear that?
generational trauma is a super thing. So, yeah.
Did you guys hear that? The trauma, there's a theory that the trauma from the Revolutionary War contributed to the instigation war. That makes total sense. How many of our ancestors, if your family line fought in a war, are the sons more likely to fight in a war? Generational traumas, generational patterns of behavior throughout generational lines. Something to think about.
That makes sense. So the
Woof.
British won that battle. So West Virginia was still a part of Virginia during the Revolutionary War, which lasted from 1775 to 1783. But at the beginning of the Civil War, which began in 1861, West Virginia refused
saw your
to
comment, Ruth.
secede from the Union along with the rest of the state. So West Virginia was sort of an outlier, like we talked
Selling pee
or like I mentioned, they were a Southern Unionist.
for people. Are,
They're
do you
not
have
about to
clean
go
pee? Is that
along
what
with
you're trying to tell
the
us?
secessionist movement of the South.
And I think that was because a lot of the white people that lived there
I like this
were,
road.
not plantation owners or whatever. They didn't directly benefit
Yeah, the war
from
made
From that
you
economy.
enslavement of people.
Yeah.
And so
This
they were
area right here is so
Right.
full of
I'm not going to
war.
give them the benefit of being
Virginia,
like,
West
morally
Virginia,
they were above this. It's just that
Maryland,
economically they wouldn't
Philadelphia.
profit
Hi
from
this, I know.
that sort of arrangement.
I love
so
the
John
pink
Brown,
hand.
ever heard of him? He was an abolitionist.
Next to
He
the dragon
staged a
looks
famous
pretty
raid
cool.
on Harper's Ferry in 1859.
Harper's Ferry.
And Harper's Ferry, by the way, at the time was
Harper's
part
Ferry
of
is
Virginia, but the way the lines are drawn now, it's part of West Virginia.
Sure. Mountain Mama.
Mountain Mama. Brown hoped weapons gained in the raid would be used in the fight against slavery, but his raid failed, and West Virginia separated from Virginia in 1861. And 2 years later, it became its own state. Like sometime during
going
the
to
Civil
Florida.
War, they became their own state. So I do want to discuss John Brown for just a quick mo. Do you guys know anything about him?
Not really.
I don't think so.
Does the name ring a bell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's also
so,
the plainest name of
Right.
all time.
well,
name
yeah,
John
but
Silverback Distillery.
in terms of like a tune,
Like the bell is ringing, but it's very faint.
We'll get-
I know what you're getting at.
we'll get to it.
I know what you're getting at, Lucy.
So John Brown, born in May 1800, he was the leading exponent
Yeah.
of violence in the American abolitionist movement. He believed that violence was necessary to end American slavery since decades of peaceful efforts had failed. Brown said repeatedly that in working
Kinda
to free
makes
the
sense.
enslaved, he was following Christian ethics, including the Golden Rule, as well as the U.S. Declaration of Independence, which states that, quote, all men are created equal. He stated repeatedly that in his view, the two principles, quote, meant the same thing, which I don't disagree. In October 1859, John Brown led a raid on the Federal Armory at Harper's Ferry, Virginia, which, as I said, is today West Virginia, intending to start a slave liberation movement that would spread south. He had prepared a provisional constitution for the revised slavery-free United States that he hoped to bring about. So he was fully like, okay, here's what we want.
Floodgates.
Right.
We're opening the floodgates. Fuck you. We're going to come at you with violence. And this is our plan for when we overtake you.
Right.
Like, he had a full plan in place.
What year was this?
1859.
Okay.
He seized the armory, but 7 people were killed and 10 or more were injured. So 10 plus were injured. Brown intended to arm enslaved people with weapons from the armory, but only a few of those enslaved people joined his revolt. So those of Brown's men who had not fled were killed or captured by the local militia and the U.S. Marines, the latter led by Robert E. Lee. Go figure.
Never heard of him.
John Brown was tried for treason against the Commonwealth of Virginia for the murder of 5 men and inciting a slave insurrection.
Jesus.
He was found guilty on all charges and was hanged publicly on December 2nd, 1859. He was the first person executed for treason in the history of the United States.
Wow.
That's pretty wild.
Seen it? Both
The
of
Harper's Ferry incident and Brown's trial and subsequent execution exacerbated tensions between the North and the South, and a year later, the American Civil War really kicked off.
So really, he was not wrong about anything. It
He
did
wasn't
take
wrong.
a lot of
Upheaval and violence
to end.
Yep.
the practice of slavery in the United
As
States.
far as the
So
violence,
I guess here was
but
what
he
I was sort
on
of
the other
questioning
side,
if
wasn't
you've
he?
ever heard of this song. Okay, so I'm going to sing it for you. Old John's brown, he is a moldering in the dust. Old John's brown rifle's red with blood spots turned to rust. Old John's pike has made its last unflinching thrust. His soul is marching on. Old
Okay.
John's Browdy lights a moldering in the grave, while weep the sons of bondage whom he ventured all to save. But though he lost his life in struggling for the slave, his truth is marching on. He captured Harper's Ferry with his 19 men so few,
Hi, Lorraine.
and he frightened old Virginia till she trampled through and through. They hung him for a traitor, themselves a traitor crew. His truth is marching on. And there are lots of variations with this song, but that was like sort of a marching song during the American Civil War that was like
Yeah.
honoring his devotion and sacrifice to the cause, I
Be
guess.
careful with
Right.
them pills, girlfriend.
And it's a Lucy fave because it mentions blood spots turn to rust.
It really does. I feel like you
I
could
hate
have
being
this.
dope sick.
And bodies a moldering in the
A
grave.
moldering.
The pills are gone.
Moldering, your new favorite word.
Moldering. I'm a moldering. Don't mind me. I'm just a moldering.
Oh, that is
Old
why I
John
liked it.
taxidermy, a moldering in the garage.
Oh God. Oh God.
Bunch of
Gold
old
stones
raccoons
rattling in a jar.
The
Bunch of
yard.
old raccoons in a jar.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Goodlow Lane.
Rattling in a jar.
Who's in a raccoon?
I said it.
It's all got very confusing, very.
I don't know,
I
it's
can't
been-
tell you two apart. So
I haven't
now I
had
know
a
my
report in a
cabinet
couple
Take
of
the next
days.
left onto Goodlow Lane.
Now I know my episode 400 song.
What a callback. 2 years later.
God.
fuck?
In half a mile, at the traffic circle, take the second
my
exit
God.
onto US 250.
Can we just not?
Can we just skip?
Slow
Can we just
down
call
ahead.
next week's episode 400?
Because
Because
we got
I can turn
construction.
it down to a poem this year. I just can't.
Okay, your poem was
It was
fucking
amazing.
amazing. It made
Yeah.
me
Oh,
cry.
you can see
I know
Vaughn.
it did.
It made me weep.
I put the lyrics on the drive if you want to read them. They'll be on the blog.
Yeah, I
probably
thought
at some
Chuck
I'm
point.
gonna get
Girl
drunk
said
with my
that.
sister around Christmas time and just read it to her at
Let's
her
see, what are we
bedside.
doing?
Her bedside.
We're doing
is
a
she
weird
sick?
thing here.
No.
Wear a red Frisian cap while
Yes.
you do.
While you continue on, I'm gonna go online and see how to get a red Frisian cap.
Who has the yield? They got
Not
the yield.
Frisian.
Get
Exit
a
the
really
traffic
large
circle
red
onto US
sock and Put
250.
it on your head.
Oh yeah, it's,
Oh,
Frisian.
how to
It's
do
Frisian with a
traffic circles.
PH.
Oh, this comes up under F.
Oh my
Continue
God.
on
Okay.
US 250 for
I
3
just got a
miles.
little bit left here.
That's what I'm
West
saying.
Virginia
Vaughn.
is
Funds
bordered
are
by
always
Ohio,
needed for
Pennsylvania,
legal
and
funds,
Maryland to the
legal
north.
fees.
Maryland and
Rockfish
Virginia
Gap
in the
Country
east,
Store.
Virginia
That
and
was cool.
Kentucky in the south, and Kentucky and Ohio in the west. Its wiggly western border is created by the Ohio River because it does have kind of fucked up borders. So once the Ohio River and then its winding eastern border is created by the Appalachian Mountains.
What is Amanda up to right now? Look at her
Why do you
face.
why do you look like that? What are you doing?
I'm sending you caps.
The fuck is with?
I found them. I found them.
Oh, for
Oh my
sale.
god, she actually found revolutionary caps. Okay, I just let me
we
get
ever
through
do
this.
Y'all, let's
I
take
know.
it.
show.
I'm good. I'm over here hanging out.
Oh my god. Okay, West Virginia can be divided into two geographical regions. So we got the Appalachian Ridge and the Valley region, which includes the Appalachians and the Blue Ridge Mountains on one side. Well, on like a diagonal side. This region is known for its parallel ridges that were cut by streams as well as canyons called water gaps. So a lot of erosion, a lot of rocky, dynamic topography.
Well, like there's like hillsides and then there's hollers in like the middle in between the hills where people like live and where the water sources are.
Yes, but also, okay, so this area has a lot of forest caves and high peaks, and then we have the Allegheny Plateau.
We're
which
learning
spreads
about
across
West
the rest of
Virginia,
the state, and there
y'all.
are lots of gorges in this area, which is why I said.
I meant in West Virginia. I didn't
Pay
know
attention.
what part.
Ooh, look at
I
this.
think in the Allegheny
Ooh,
Plateau it might be
that's
more of the
cool.
gorges, the valleys, plus a wall of mountains that separate the state's two regions. West Virginia is called the Mountain State because it's the only state completely within the Appalachian Mountain region,
Oh.
and its average elevation is higher than any other state east of the Mississippi River.
Oh. Cool.
West Virginia was originally going to be called Kanawha, but the region was instead linked to the state of Virginia, which was named after Queen Elizabeth I, who ruled England and Ireland in the late 1500s, aka the Virgin Queen, because she didn't want to put up with a man.
Good for her.
Good for fucking her. And thus began
I
the
mean, she's also like a brute colonizer, but
yes.
good for her for not wanting to put up with me.
And
Yeah,
like
but
Jeff,
she-
not a virgin. But,
But
yeah.
she didn't deal with a bunch of bullshit. Like I
Sure,
actually
yeah.
like her. In terms of like the English monarchy,
there were worse.
There were way worse.
Yeah, that's like picking your favorite piece of shit.
Well, right. I mean,
Pick
it's not
your
like
favorite polished.
it's not like she had a choice, but like so thus began the Mary Queen of Scots
Pilot
debacle
crew.
and the Church of England and the Spanish Armada and blah 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 blah. And you should definitely watch the movie Elizabeth if you haven't already because it is fascinating.
And listen to our Royal Kerfuffles episode
Yeah.
because we went down a
In
lot.
a quarter mile, turn left onto the
You
ramp
are
to
piquing
Staunton.
my interest, and only for the sake of time am I not chiming in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so my last little bit is about the animals that live in West Virginia
Oh,
because
God.
they have
Everything is so
flying
old around here.
squirrels.
Love that.
Fucking
So
flying
cool.
Where are we
squirrels.
going?
They got black bears. They got
Round and
big-eared
round and
bats,
round. Hi,
bald
Rose.
eagles, grouse, barred owls, ruby-throated hummingbirds,
Ooh,
stink
Turn
cocks,
left onto the ramp to
Ew.
Staunton,
which are
then
a
keep
type
right
of
at the
turtle.
fort.
Oh, Amanda, this one's for
Should
you.
be able to get
5
fuel
lined
in Charleston.
skinks. Skinks. I know you love skinks.
I like skinks.
Mountain chorus frogs,
Oh
which is
my god.
adorable. I don't even know what it looks like or sounds like,
Googling
but
it.
I'm done. I'm done. I love
Right
it.
at the fork.
Dusky salamanders and mountain earth
Are we
snakes.
going to Staunton?
We just
Oh,
got
we're
all
going
kinds
to
of shit.
Staunton.
So many
Appalachian Mountain
reptiles.
Forest Frog.
Chorus frogs.
Chorus.
Sorry. Chorus
Mountain
frog.
chorus frogs.
That's what I meant.
Anyway,
What I meant.
that is the end of my segment. I just
They're
wanted-
not that cute, but
Continue
they
on
are
I-64
cute.
west for 12 miles.
They're like ugly cute.
Okay.
I
Send
sent a
pic.
picture.
All right. Well,
West Virginia Mountain Chorus
Oh.
Frog.
Yeah, they're
Take
very
me
plain
out.
looking.
Yeah.
They kind of have like a snake skin boot look to them.
I wonder if they sound, but they look like if when you see like an autopsy of someone who smoked their whole lives and their
Okay, I got a
lungs,
U-Haul in front
like their
of me
black
and a
spotted
U-Haul
lungs.
beside
That's what
me.
this
Look at
frog looks like.
Maybe he's trying to get
black spotted West
behind me.
Virginia
There we go.
Melanoma
Is that what
frog.
you're trying to do?
Melanoma lung frog.
Right.
Oh, I found a video
Uh-uh,
of the
there's
sound they
car
make, so
there,
on the
don't
break
do it.
you can listen to it.
There we go.
All right. Well, let's get to the break because we need to listen
Take
to
it
some
easy.
mountain chorus
Yeah.
frogs, and
Let's get
we need
to
to listen
it.
to some sponsors, and then we'll be back.
We'll be right back. Putting yourself first in this brand new year that we have doesn't have to be a challenge thanks to Talkspace. Using Talkspace feels a little like having a little homunculus mental health professional in your pocket. Just right there. It's so convenient. Anytime you need them, right there. Yeah. Talkspace offers therapy and psychiatry, and being able to reach out to my provider anytime, anywhere, millennial approved, makes taking care of my mental health
Talkspace.
super easy. So whether I'm
Take
working or
care of your
managing
mental
everyday
health.
tasks, taking care of my own mental health has never been easier. Working through things in therapy can be a little rough, especially if you're not used to it.
There's
but
always a way to
connecting
get
with my
mental health
therapist
help.
is not.
Always.
Plus, you can get help with or without insurance. Most insured members pay only $25 in their copay or less.
We wholeheartedly recommend Talkspace for therapy. You can sign up online and get a personalized match with a provider that is right for you, typically within just 48 hours. You can text, video, or send voice messages to your licensed therapist, so it's incredibly convenient to have virtual sessions from. I love this aspect about Talkspace because the biggest
Hi, Deb.
barrier for me getting therapy before Talkspace was like picking a time in my hectic, chaotic schedule that always changes, and putting on pants and brushing my teeth and like commuting to a therapist's office and then having to like sit in my car drying the mascara that has run down my face after that session before I'm able to like safely drive home. And nobody wants that. We're past that. We want to just, from the comfort of our couch, text all of our thoughts and feelings to a licensed professional and get help back. So, Talkspace, baby.
It's 2023. It's a new time. And I work through things in my head like in the middle of the night, which is not conducive to face-to-face therapy. So as a listener of this podcast, you'll get $100 off your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com/gals. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com/gals to get $100 off your first month and show your support for this show. One more time, that's Talkspace.com/gals, and treat your brain. Treat it.
If your New Year's goals are to manage your budget better and save money, then, honey, you need Rocket Money.
Yeah, Rocket Money,
Money.
formerly known as Truebill, is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Over 8%
They call go to sheets.
of people have subscriptions they forget about. Hi, me.
Yep.
Like that streaming service you bought just to watch that one show that one time, or that free trial that like you never even used and completely forgot about. Or like those apps.
Yeah,
on
I
your
had a
phone
great
that
day on my
you used,
birthday. I
like one time,
crafted.
and now they're just like hiding in some
One of
folder
my
on your phone
son-in-laws
that you
brought me
forget
a
about.
chocolate cake.
Yeah, it's a huge money suck,
He
and
made
you're like not
Reuben
even aware of it.
sandwiches.
So Rocket Money will quickly and
Let's
easily
see.
identify
Turn
your
right onto Rosser
subscriptions for
Avenue.
you, so you can stop paying for the ones that you don't want, that you're unaware you even have. Rocket Money makes canceling subscribe the button click here to unsubscribe. Like no,
In 600 feet,
Yeah,
left onto
$50
Lucy Lane.
per year.
Turn left onto Lucy
Wow.
Lane.
Who doesn't need that? Yeah. So Rocket Money helped me find a subscription for a streaming service that when I signed up, it was only like $4.99 a month. And then without me even realizing it, just shot up to like $35 a month.
What?
Yeah.
No.
So I didn't even know that it went up after the first like however many 90 days or whatever.
Oh my goodness.
I broke up with that subscription, and thanks to Rocket Money, I would not have even known how much I was paying.
$35 is a lot of dollars per month.
A lot of dollars.
Easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/.
Okay. I'm
There
proud of us.
are many beautiful things though.
Sure did. Somebody say something real quick.
On air.
Okay. Okay. So
Community.
it's always a little creepy.
A little creepy.
In
Down to
Calhoun,
the side.
I think is the guy I'm thinking of. Anyway.
Some call us.
Yeah. Located about 7 miles north of the coastal town of Grantsville on the evening of January 5th.
Delfred.
Changing my name.
Delfred.
Dilfred Jacobson. It's very Handmaid's Tale.
It is.
Oh.
It's Handmaid's Tale, but like in a Spanish-speaking country.
Amiga Delfred.
Here we go with the damn handmaid's tale.
Un Handmaid Delfred.
Delfred.
West Virginia. What's with West Virginia and the handmaid's tale file?
Lord.
Think tank.
Right?
You're not wrong.
I know.
Delfred. Okay.
Delfred.
Delfred worked as a night watchman at a rubber factory,
I'm sorry.
but he was
Rubber like the material, not like
Hi, my name is John, and I work in a rubber factory.
Great.
One day my dog said, "Hey John, are you busy?" I said, "No."
I don't know. Hi, my name is John. I'm looking at that whole thing. Hi, my name is.
Why don't you
It don't
press
work.
the button with your left hand? Hi, my name is Joe.
Okay.
Oh, it's button factory.
Joe. I said, yo. He says, you busy? I said, no. Can you push this button with your right hand?
Okay, the gist is one day the
My name
boss
is Joe.
comes and says, "You're busy," and it says,
And I work.
"Anyway, let's move on."
Or no. And one day,
What?
my boss came up to me. He says, hey,
Can
Joe,
you have no
Oh, you
idea
did. I
what
said,
we're
no,
talking
can
about? Is
you
it one of
push
those
this
like?
button with your left hand?
It's one of those school
Girl,
bus things.
yeah, okay, that's what I
Ah.
thought.
It's a school
My
bus
name is
thing.
Joe.
Let's both try to cut off Amanda as soon as possible.
So,
I haven't
Delfred,
thought about that rhyme in 32 years.
I heard rubber factory and it just.
And I work in a rubber factory.
Okay. One day my boss said, "Hey Joe,
well, one day Delfred was
Delfred.
concerned about his wife
hey
Irene.
Joe."
My wife.
because she was not answering the phone.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
She
So-
was not answering the phone.
The phone.
Can you answer the phone with your
right
left
hand? Okay. All right. We're gonna get ourselves together. Okay.
Literally never. I refuse.
Look at Michelle. Okay.
So stupid.
So fucking dumb. I don't
So
know why anyone listens to this.
Irene is not answering the phone. Telfred is on his night shift as the watchman at the rubber factory.
Not
Rubber
condoms, not
factory.
buttons. Got it.
Their 3 children were already grown and had moved out. So
They're adult sons.
yeah, daughters, but yes. And Irene was
And their
left
sons
alone.
were, "Hey, grown."
Irene was left alone on nights when her husband worked at the
Well, her
rubber
husband wasn't
factory.
home.
Rubber factory.
Quit. I think I really quit.
This is what did it. Are you quitting? I said no. Now continue your case with your left hand.
Oh my fucking god.
And why are we like this?
It's so stupid. Why?
And I'm the only neurodivergent one at this table.
Yeah, right.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I certainly do not think so, ladies.
And then Amanda, I said,
never-
hey, no. Are you the only one? I said, no.
I said no.
Pass the Zoloft with your
With
left
your left
hand.
hand.
Okay. Oh, my boobs are sweating. Okay.
No, you're just lactating.
Yeah,
It's
that
not
too.
sweat, it's
That
milk.
too, that too. Okay. It's milk. It's the drink of West Virginia.
Oh
milk.
my god. You are the West Virginia mountain mama. Milky mama.
Milky Mama. Okay. So he's working. Their kids are out of the house. Irene is home alone. He's worried. He calls. She doesn't answer the phone. They had a ritual where he would call to check in at 9 p.m. and it was extremely unlike her to not answer that phone call. So Delfred is worried. He calls his friend Henry Welch. Remember? That's her.
Yes.
Right.
So
So
McGrath said, hey, Welch.
Can you check on my wife with your right hand? With your left eye.
Someone's gonna die. I'm
forgot which eye
so
was my left.
sorry.
I do that all the time. Okay.
Can you check my wife with your left eye?
$70 to fill
Okay.
my tank.
Welch didn't think that this was really a matter for alarm. He thought that
And I
Irene probably
can't
just missed the
use-
call.
I couldn't
but
use
he
my
decided to send his two
reward
teenage
card
stepdaughters,
because
15-year-old Diane Cochran and
I don't have
14-year-old
one. I do
Juanita
it on the
Cochran,
phone.
to go check on Irene instead of going himself. So he was like, hey, girls, go check on...
A form
You know,
of discrimination. Wow.
So the two girls made their way to the Wilsons' remote backwoods property on
discriminating?
Broomstick Road.
Oh my god.
Ew.
I thought you were going to say that they traveled by broomstick.
Fucking ew.
They made their
Hold
way
out
on
there.
broomstick.
Well, this is like 9:30 p.m. now at this time, and these like two teenage girls are like walking in the dark on this rural road,
On
Broomstick Road.
Road in
No.
West Virginia.
Fucking no.
Could you paint a murderous picture
Yeah.
of that?
Well,
God.
plate glass storm door behind it. The sisters peeked through the glass door into the dining room and were met with a shocking sight of Irene's body lying on the dining room floor.
Oh.
It was immediately obvious that this was not a death of natural causes. Her body had been mutilated almost beyond recognition. Diane and Juanita, these two 14 girls, didn't enter the house but immediately ran to the home of another neighbor, like the nearest neighbor, to call the police. It would eventually be determined that Irene had been stabbed 52 times.
Hey, find a
Oh
granola
my
bar.
god.
Stabbing,
He can't say them.
having someone
1,
post-mortem.
2, 3,
Very
4,
intentionally.
5,
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, that's a lot.
Okay.
It's a lot. is
It's
my
just
point.
hard to even count to 52.
I couldn't. Gun to my head, couldn't
I
do
tried.
it. Lucy tried, only got to 10.
With my attention span. Okay. So,
Okay. I love when Ken
I'm
gets
saying it's
at
hard.
it. Okay.
okay.
Head northeast
So,
toward
a
Rosser
butcher's knife
Avenue.
was removed from the house.
Okay, I gotta get coffee and use the bathroom. Do you want me to leave the podcast? Okay. I was going to wait, but I'm out of coffee, so I want more coffee. Coffee's necessary for the drive. All right, I'm gonna leave it paused. Coffee is good, yeah. I will be right back. Don't let anybody steal my truck. Oh, they gave me my coffee free. Sweet. The universe provides. Come on, dude. We gotta go. Come on, mister. No. Good boy. Alright. How come you don't use your pillow anymore? You don't like your pillow? That's another pillow.
To be examined as a potential murder weapon. It's unclear, at least in the press, like what the results of that examination were. It could be that it was the murder weapon and they just haven't released that information to the public, or it could be that it was found to be unrelated, or the results were inconclusive. I don't know. It's in the police file, which has been not
Sealed for
yeah.
years.
I don't know if it's been sealed, but it's not been released. In addition to the stab wounds, there was also evidence that she had been brutally beaten as well as burned.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
God.
There is so much anger and
Rage.
hatred and rage in this.
Mm-hmm. So statements made by police implied that they believe the killer may have made attempts to burn the body in order to dispose of it, but as we know, that's like
Doesn't work.
not easy to do.
Yeah, good luck.
A local newspaper reported Irene's body as being in, quote, deplorable condition. Calhoun County residents were shocked and bewildered that someone could have murdered Irene in such a brutal manner. She was well liked in town. Many knew her because of her years working at 2 local general stores. She worked at the Ben Franklin 5 and 10.
Oh, jeez.
And-
Raven dame.
Yeah. Ben Franklin's are no more, by the way.
Oh, R.I.P.
Y'all remember
And
Ben
also
Franklin?
Fetty's store.
Okay.
I don't have an update on the Fetty store.
Yeah.
Dang it, I
Maybe.
lost something.
Most people considered her friendly, plain,
Always
and
losing
unassuming.
shit.
Rude, but
Yeah.
I get what they're saying.
Yeah.
Including my
But
mind,
can we
yes,
fucking-
including
Yeah,
my mind.
step it up a little bit.
Can we not?
Yeah.
You mean her smile didn't light up a room?
Yeah, because she at
Rude.
least light up a room.
For
Yeah.
God's sakes, this poor woman.
Other people with better manners said that she was nice, hardworking, and a devoutly Christian mom.
Okay.
Certainly,
Good Christian woman.
yeah, certainly not anyone that would inspire the level of rage exhibited in her murder.
Sure, she doesn't have, like, known enemies.
Yeah, she's not like involved in any kind of like seedy shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
She's just a ma'am.
she's just a ma'am. Also, it's
Ma'am.
the 60s, so I feel like West Virginia was like economically doing a lot better than it is now back then. You know,
Good point.
yeah.
Mm.
So police ruled out robbery as a motive as well. There was no sign of forced entry, and money was left out in plain sight in the house. There was also no evidence of rape or attempted rape.
Okay.
Following an autopsy, her official cause of death was listed as, quote,
Did you
numerous
guys just see me?
lacerations
Did I walk
that
in
had
front of the
perforated
camera?
her
Thank
left
you.
lung and aorta, resulting in hemorrhage.
Ouch.
Her time of death was determined to have been between
I wasn't
5:30
even
and
paying
6 p.m.,
attention.
which was when she would have just returned home from her shift at Fetty's store, and she was obviously had begun like cooking some dinner, cooking like some vegetables.
Is Mother
So I
Nature
wonder if
here?
someone was waiting for her, or if it was
Hey,
someone
Mother
who knew
Nature,
her
we're learning
routine, or
about
maybe got to know her
West
routine.
Virginia.
Either she let
Or,
somebody
or
in,
like a neighbor who
There it is.
knew
Okay.
when, yeah.
or somebody was waiting for her, or fucking luck of the draw.
Yeah, true.
You know, like it's not like 5:30 and 6 p.m. is a
Super
Weird
inopportune
hour. Yeah.
time to be home.
yeah. You kind of expect
Yeah, it's my
people to be
birthday
home around
month
then.
too,
If
so
they,
I
you
told
know.
her thank you, happy birthday.
So the Cochran sisters had been sent to check on her and discovered her body, like we said, around 9:30
what are
p.m. So she'd been there for a few hours.
Okay, I
Nearby
can't go into
neighbors reported
insurance
that
right
they had
now.
not seen any cars drive up Broomstick Road that evening, and they most likely would have noticed.
I need to pause if I'm going to talk, don't I? Okay, let's get on the road and then we'll turn it back on. Get back on the highway. I was mumbling. I was kind of mumbling. When I get on the road, if the podcast isn't loud, I can't hear. Okay. Seatbelt. Diesel was $4.59. Regular is only $2.95. Sheets are always really good about not harassing me about my dog. But apologize to me for what? For throwing out bad vibes all the time? For being as big a dick as the one she hangs out with? She said a 5-year-old can make better crafts than I do. Oh, the gun thing. She was on Red's chat crying and whining about how somebody spread a rumor that she had a gun. She's the one that spread that rumor. She said that in her live stream. These people, man. They start rumors about themselves.
Turn left onto Rosser Avenue.
Yeah, she said a 5-year-old could craft better than me. Hurt my feelings so
In 800
hard.
feet, turn right onto Tiffany
I was
Drive.
big mad. I still want to know why Red was actually crying tears. I only was there for a minute, but the part I saw was actually sounded like he was actually crying tears. What the heck was that about? I know, you
Take
know
the
what?
next
I
left,
don't have
then
to
turn left.
criticize somebody's art even if I don't like them. You know, it's like I'm still going to say, hey, that's very creative. Or hey, that looks nice. Just like I said, I've told Dom to, you know, keep it up with the flag dancing. Art is art, expression is expression. Why do we need to criticize people even if we don't like them or what they stand for? It's not necessary. But thanks for the view, Mother Nature. Thanks for boosting the algorithm. Thanks for letting other people know about
Take
my
the next right onto
crafting
Lennox
sessions,
Place, then turn right onto
because
Rosser
we're
Avenue.
going to have a session working on our
Take
our
the next
junk
right onto Rosser
journals.
Avenue.
Why was he crying? Because he was crying about the bodies that he ripped up. Oh, well, that's bullshit. He wasn't crying about that. I don't know.
In a quarter mile, use the right lane to take the
Probably
ramp to
crying
Staunton.
because he was out. Let me stop that. Stop that. Yeah, Rum Rose. Can't listen. Can't. That bossy woman that's giving directions all the time. Google. She's my friend. She doesn't call me names when I miss my turn. Exactly. What would we do without her? Got my necklace today. And my beads. Your GPD. Oh. Lucy locator? Is that what you said? Yeah, Lucy locator.
Use the right lane to take the ramp to Staunton, then merge onto
the one on the
I-64
left?
West.
Uh-oh. Did I just miss my turn? Yup. Sure
Continue
did.
for half a mile.
See what happens when I pay attention to you instead of the road? Okay, but this one was made for me by a friend of mine that lives in Slab City. And it just was hanging there, kind of matched, so I threw it on today. Slab City is an off-grid community in Southern California, near Coachella Valley. Let's see, near Calipatria, in the desert. Anyway, it used to be an old military base, and when they picked up and left, all they left were the concrete slabs. So, thus the name Slab City. So that people start near the Salton Sea.
In 1,000 feet,
The
turn left onto the I-64 West ramp to
Land
Staunton.
is now owned by the California Teachers Association, but
Turn
it
left onto the
is
I-64 West ramp.
inhabited- Sorry about that. It is inhabited by squatters. Part of some BLM land, kind of, and some private property that's along the canal that the owners allow squatters to live on. Anyway, they kind of call it the last free place on earth, but nothing's free. And they try to call it lawless, but of course it's not lawless. The county sheriff does have authority there. But the town kind of just has its own code of conduct. And if you violate the code of conduct, which is pretty liberal, you get taken care of according to the code, whatever that code is. But I tell you what, Slab City don't allow pedophiles.
In a quarter mile,
Let
merge
Slab
onto
City find out
I-64
there's
West.
a pedophile. I've seen it twice. They got ran out so freaking quick. I've seen it happen twice. They allow a lot of other bullshit, but not pedophiles.
Continue on I-64 West for 7 miles.
Okay, here we go, back to the story.
I know I can't get over Brooklyn Road.
I want to
can't-
live on
I know I
this road.
cannot get over it. So this was a really rural car. Not that many people lived on that car or on that road, and so it was rarely used. And if a car had driven down it, it probably would have attracted someone's attention. The Cochran sisters would later say that they believed they'd seen a light by the Wilsons' barn as they approached the house, though.
Like a flashlight?
They just say a light.
Or like car lights or something.
They didn't say car
Maybe.
light. Maybe, I'm guessing flashlight.
Yeah, by a
Oh,
barn.
Or maybe a lighter.
light.
Because they had tried to burn the body.
Okay, some kind of light.
But we can assume it's not a car light, like headlights.
I feel like they would have said headlights if it
Yeah.
had been headlights. Yeah. Many Calhoun County residents believe that Delfrid had killed Irene just because the husband did it,
Classic offer.
and also his kind of reputation around town. So some neighbors and
Oh.
acquaintances of Delfrid Wilson reported that he had a terrible temper
Oh shit.
and lashed out in rage at many members of the community over the years over like various squabbles.
Oh, he was the town asshole.
Yeah, pretty much. One neighbor later recalled, quote, he had a strange slant on life and liked to threaten and fight with his neighbors. End quote.
Great. Great.
Charming.
Yeah. Charmed, I'm sure.
Charmed, I'm sure.
However, Delfrid appeared to have an airtight alibi. So the hours of his night watchman shifts expand the window in which investigators had determined Irene's murder occurred. Now, I don't know if that means that he had
Maybe we'll go there
colleagues that
someday
saw
soon.
I had
him.
eyes on him.
Yeah, during
Or
his
later.
whole shift.
We'll go again.
home.
Right.
What if, right?
How do we know?
Just saying, especially if you're a night watchman, if you're working
Yeah.
alone,
Go home for lunch in the middle of the night.
right?
You know?
But no car drove down the road.
Yeah, but you could have parked up the road.
Could have parked up the road. I don't know. Maybe his alibi really was airtight and like somebody was working with him the whole time and he really was not there. I don't know.
Maybe.
Worth looking into. But belief that Delford was the killer was far from unanimous, and rumors swirled about many other possible suspects in town. Police reportedly questioned numerous local people about the murder, and it was a widely discussed topic in Calhoun County, like who might be on the suspect list. Of
Yeah,
course.
who done it? This is the town gossip.
Right.
Let's go. Yeah.
Also, not a big town.
No.
So
this
someone
is the
has to know
Hattie
something.
schools.
Yeah.
True.
So one frequently mentioned suspect was a local man who suffered from schizophrenia and who, according to a local newspaper, quote, excised his penis and flushed it down a commode at the Nycut Hill bar.
Sir? You good?
Excise his pee. Cut off his own penis.
At a bar.
At a bar.
And flushed it down the toilet.
Listen, I have had some weird nights at the bar, but that's a bit much.
Yes. So obviously he was like this local guy with intense mental health issues.
Is that a
2
scene
miles,
from
take exit
Empire
87
Records?
for I-81 north towards Staunton
With
and
a
Winchester.
penis?
Around the same time where he cuts off his penis.
I don't think
bathroom.
that's an Empire Records
it.
one.
I'll
Yeah,
Google it.
A little too intense for Empire
Too tired.
Records.
Yeah, it's not a
What the
Now
heck?
that I think about it, it's super not a fire record.
Cutting
No.
off
You're thinking of the
penises.
song Detachable Penis that we listened to
Oh,
a lot in
but
middle
he
We did
school.
listen. We did listen.
Along with the movie The Piano, which my mom made me watch at an early
I don't
age,
know
there
who
was
that
another
is.
movie.
Oh,
And she read movies and he was said, I tried to, I cut off my penis. And it was a formative of my childhood.
but the fear and tension in the community continued to mount. Residents were extra careful about keeping doors locked and guns.
Take exit
loaded.
87.
One former neighbor of the Wilsons, who was 13 years old at the time of the murder, later stated
I
in an
live off
interview,
grid
quote,
more than
Continue
I
on
live.
I-81 north for
I now
117
laid
miles.
down the law to Daddy, and we moved out to Five Forks, which was far away from the murder site. Still, to this day, 40 years later, I get chills.
back,
A neighbor family
back to
believed
the wild.
moved
Oh my God,
away
that
because
movie had
the
such an
mom was
impact
like
on me.
not comfortable being there anymore. So Irene
But
and
yeah,
Delford's
that's where I
children
first
have
learned
made
about it,
very few
too.
comments to the press, but they have indicated that they do not believe their father to have been responsible for their mother's death.
Oh, you
Another
have a
relative of
ranch.
Irene Wilson, who is unnamed in the
Check
news
that
coverage, also insisted that Delford was
am I
innocent
taking this?
and made reference to her killer likely being a
Wait.
man who lived on nearby
What am I
Pleasant Hill.
Oh my God.
Don't like the name Pleasant Hill. That's
Yes.
creepy. Okay.
It's a Pleasant Hill in
We're
Des
going.
Moines.
Who was considered to be a model citizen, so I don't know why this relative of Irene's like
So convinced.
fingered him for the crime.
Hot.
Ew.
Freddie got fingered him.
I couldn't find out more information. I wanted to find out who this supposed suspect was.
Fingerer is.
Who is the fingerer?
Who was fingered?
Who fingered the fingerer?
Trying to find out. At this
Oh
point,
my
it is
gosh.
unlikely that Irene's murder will ever be solved, but it remains the subject of whispers and rumors in Calhoun County to this day.
Oh, shit. Was some rando
Yeah,
who was just passing through, and this is the 60s, without the kind of forensic capabilities that we have now.
there's
It was
no way
so-
they saved things that could later be tested.
Back in the fucking days, we could just hop on a train and then you just don't exist because
Yeah.
you could just everything's on paper. You just give someone a fake name and there you go.
Yeah, it could have just been a vagrant or a
Anyone.
But it's just weird that there's like literally no motive and then so much rage.
Yeah, it's really wild.
And that I think it's telling that the kids don't think it was their dad. You know, like
I mean, yes, but what kid, unless under very brutal, like abusive circumstances, would ever believe?
I
Because
don't
your
know.
parent is
I think
capable of that.
that's kind of interesting to think about, like children of murderers, like how much, or not even children, but just like family members, friends, whoever, like how much do they really suspect? Because the typical anecdote is like, oh, he's just a regular guy, he's so nice.
It's always the quiet
But
one.
then sometimes it's like, yeah, he's definitely the one.
Piece of shit and murder.
well, I just mean more like the neighbors, like people said that he had a bad temper and stuff, which I'm assuming means that he also probably had a bad temper at home with his wife and kid. That is an assumption that I'm making. But the kids still don't think that he committed this murder. And yeah, that one.
I just think that I don't know.
Are you saying denial, or are you saying they probably do have suspicions that they're just not voicing?
It's not necessarily denial. It's almost more like the two types of people who commit these kinds of crimes. Like some fly so under the radar,
Like
and
B2K?
some are just hiding in plain sight. And like everyone knows, like, oh yeah, he's off.
Yeah.
Like
Something's
I don't
off.
know. It just seems like it's just either one side or the other. It's hard to know. It's hard to
Yeah.
know.
Well,
Long
make
term.
sure the unsolved case.
I wanted to torture Amanda with an unsolved.
Yeah, Amanda hates it.
Yeah.
I love
Well, the fan picker kind of wanted to torture me too, so double dipping for you. This
All
week.
right.
it.
Should we
Perfect.
take a quick sponsor break and then get to my continued torture?
Let's do it. Care of is a subscription service that ships high-quality, personalized vitamins, supplements, and powders conveniently to your door every month. In 2023, instead of a long list of resolutions that just overwhelm you, try focusing instead on a few key things that will allow you to feel more balanced, confident, and maybe even energetic. And Care of helps you get into that routine with products and digital tools that will help you feel better than ever. I love their in-depth online quiz. We love a good quiz. It's a cute quiz.
It's a cute quiz. It asks about your lifestyle and health goals. We know that this time of year, a lot of us are making new health goals. And it gets back to you with personalized, doctor-backed recommendations. And it takes the guesswork out of what supplements are best suited for you. I try to take the Care of quiz every year, take it afresh, because, my life and my lifestyle changes. I want to stay up to date. I love my vitamin and supplement lifestyle.
You really.
I'm big on the biotin these days, trying
Yes.
to address that postpartum, hormonal changes.
Well, your
And-
hair and your nails will thank you.
Yeah, exactly. And they already have. So thank you, Kara. You're the best. And they have daily vitamin packs. These are great for on-the-go moments. If you're rushing around, you just pop them in your bag and then take them when you have a minute. And the packs, it's less about your impact on the environment. It's not a bunch of plastic.
Oh, what could be better? So for 50% off your first Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code GALS50, GALS50. One more time, for 50% off your first Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code GALS50 and treat it.
There is no one quick fix for anxiety and depression, unfortunately. Some things might help, but they're not going to be the panacea. So regular meditation, a better diet. If you haven't figured it out yet, life, healing, and becoming a better version of yourself is a process, okay?
it doesn't stop. You don't just magically arrive one day and you're like, wow, I'm enlightened. I've reached the pinnacle of me. I'm here. I'm the best. Sadly, that doesn't happen. Or if it has happened, good on you. You maybe need to address some choices you've made. But sometimes you just need something that will help unlock your brain,
Agreed,
get
Deb.
you started on that process, get you, to have a new way of thinking about and seeing the world. And maybe for you, that thing is guided ketamine therapy from Mind Bloom. In fact, Dan, a sales engineer and real Mind Bloom customer and believer, says, quote, Mind Bloom has helped me take back control of my life. I feel free. Mind Bloom is the leader in at-home ketamine therapy for people looking for a new way to treat their anxiety and depression. They combine access with a guided treatment plan that is both affordable and fast-acting. To begin, take Mind Bloom's online assessment and schedule a video with a licensed psychiatric clinician. If approved, you'll work with Mind Bloom on your specific treatment plan, and you'll be mailed a customized kit complete with medicine, reported improvements in depression, and 85% reported improvements in anxiety. It's time to enter your next chapter in mental health and well-being. Achieve transformational outcomes with Mind Bloom. And right now, Mind Bloom is offering our listeners $100 off your first 6-session program when you sign up at mindbloom.com/gals, GALS, and use promo code GALS at checkout. Go to mindbloom.com/gals, promo code GALS for $100 off your first 6-session program today. That's mindbloom.com/gals, promo code GALS. Treat your mind. Treat it.
Alrighty, you ready for my cave?
No.
Well, good, because it's rough. The fucking fan pickers are brutal.
They usually are, yeah.
Yeah, it's your fault. So for this case, we gotta hop into the way, way back machine and travel to West Virginia University in 1970. It was January 18th when friends and freshman classmates, I don't think they were roommates, but they did live in the same dorm building, Marid Malaric and Karen Farrell ventured into downtown Morgantown, West Virginia. They went to see the film Oliver at the Metropolitan Theater.
Cuties.
I know, how cute.
How
From what I understood,
How pure.
so pure. From what I understood, they took public transportation to get to the show, but afterward the bus was not running as frequently, so in like true 70s fashion, they hitchhiked home.
Oh God.
Yeah.
They were seen getting into a cream-colored
Drip.
sedan a couple blocks away from the theater.
What
They
county
were
is
seen entering this
Morgantown?
vehicle by 2 classmates who had seen them at intermission. There used to be like intermissions at movies.
Morgantown, West
There
Virginia.
still are in France sometimes.
Yeah, so you can go pee and get your
Is that
And in
Berkeley
Charles
County?
City, Iowa.
So they saw them at intermission, they all bumped into each other, and then they sat with them for the remainder of the movie. They had wanted to stay out longer, these friends that bumped into them, but Marit and Karen wanted to get back to campus. When they didn't make it back and hadn't been heard from for a few hours, they were reported missing to the local police. But the police didn't take the girls' disappearance very seriously at first, or like, kind of at all the whole time.
Shocking.
Yeah. Assuming that they had left of their own accord, I mean, the girls are 18, 19 years old, despite the fact that the girls' friends and family insisted that neither Marit nor Karen were the type of people to just up and leave without letting anybody else know. They were
I'm
like,
surprised that people reported them missing
After just a
quickly.
few hours. Yeah, exactly.
being
Yeah.
college students who live on their own, presumably. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's like
Late at night and not like
late
them.
at night,
And
not like them. They're not party animals. It's,
yeah.
they told their friends we're going back to campus, and then maybe their friends got back and they never made it, and they were like, what the fuck, where are they?
Right.
And there aren't cell phones, so I feel like maybe in a day before we had our own methods for trying to locate people without police involvement, it might have been a little bit more common to report things like this sooner.
just
get
to
more
have a
resources.
cop get in the car and kind of drive
And
around.
drive around
take
and
a
look.
look. Yeah.
Exactly, because these are college kids who might not have cars,
Maybe,
You know.
yeah, maybe they're walking. Maybe they broke an ankle, like whatever.
Exactly.
Well,
so I could
also,
see
were these girls white too?
Karen most certainly was white. Marin is like white presenting in photographs, but I'm not certain if she was white, but she looks white.
I feel like in the 70s,
Yeah.
that would be a differentiating factor.
Oh, for sure. It would be now.
Yes.
So they're reported missing. 2 months pass without a word from the girls.
Oh my god.
Not a single clue as to where they are. And then in March, a kid picking up soda bottles around US Highway 119 found a purse in a ditch about 50 feet off the road. The contents of the bag confirmed it belonged to Mark. Despite this bit of evidence, police still were not convinced of foul play.
What the fuck?
But this became undeniable when on April 8th, 1970, West Virginia State Police received an anonymous letter postmarked from Cumberland, Maryland, containing information about the women's disappearance. The letter was signed with only a little drawing of a triangle.
Oh, I don't like that.
I know, this is like a fucking
Zodiac shit.
Somebody
Very
tell me
Zodiac,
what county
very-
this is. Morgantown,
The
West
letter was
Virginia.
dated April 6th, 1970, and read, "Gentlemen, I have some information on the whereabouts of the bodies of the 2 missing West Virginia University co-eds, Marin Malarick and Karen Farrell. Follow directions very carefully, to the nth degree, and you cannot fail to find them. Proceed 25 miles directly south from the southern line of Morgantown. This will bring you to a wooded forest land. Enter into the forest exactly 1 mile. There are the bodies. 25 plus 1 equals 26 miles total. Will reveal myself when the bodies are located. Sincerely, Trying."
The fuck?
Yeah.
Mongolia County. Thank you.
So, hoping to get some information from the community, this letter was published in the newspaper the next day. Within 24 hours of publishing the letter, another letter arrived. It reads as such: "Gentlemen, I saw the article in this morning's newspaper concerning my previous letter on the missing 2 co-eds. If you reread my first letter carefully, you will see the directions were specific, direct south from the city, meaning the southern limit of Morgantown, West Virginia. Straight south 25 miles, you will come to a forest woodland. Enter in 1 mile south. Fanning out, you will locate the bodies of the girls covered over with brush. Look carefully, the animals are now on the move. Do trust this will help you out with exact location. Will still identify myself when bodies are located. Sincerely, Trying."
So there's something about the
fucking
shape
trucks.
of
I'm
like
sorry,
the southern
but these
line
fucking
and the
trucks are
25
not
miles
nice.
and then the 1 mile.
They're
Maybe.
trying to bully
Or is
me.
is he giving them basically
They're
the
bullying
same
me.
directions in 2 different ways of
he-
saying? It's very geometric.
It seems specific, but it's actually quite vague, and we will get to it.
Okay.
So the public was understandably frustrated that police hadn't taken this seriously, and in response, the governor of West Virginia at the time ordered all hands on deck to search for their bodies with the information given to them in the letters. Because the letters were a little bit polarizing, where police were like, I think this is bullshit.
We're
They
not
didn't
going
wanna-
to waste resources on this.
They didn't want to mount a full-scale search, and the public was like, fuck that, what the fuck? And then the governor was like, just fucking do it.
If the police didn't do it, then I feel like the public would have. So
Yeah.
There would have been an
So-
uproar of some kind.
Exactly. So this was a bit easier said than done, as some directions that are given in these letters are vague. There is no distinct, quote, southern line of Morgantown from which to start, and the vast majority of West Virginia, as we've covered, is heavily wooded, leaving a lot of ground to cover. So, like, if you say there's woods 25 miles south of Morgantown, it's like, yeah.
Yeah. No shit. There's probably
shit
woods
there are.
2 miles south of Morgantown.
Literally, yes.
surrounding Morgantown.
Right. So this search for their bodies was unsuccessful based on the information given in the letters. However, some personal items belonging to the girls were found during this search, including Marit's sunglasses and Karen's purse that contained her driver's license. These items were found scattered about 70 feet away from a stretch of that Highway 119, which told investigators that whoever dumped them here couldn't have thrown them that far from the window of a moving car and had gotten out and chosen the area to scatter the belongings. But still, no bodies. The search continued, expanding far beyond the vague boundaries of the mysterious letters. And finally, on April 16th, 1970, so about almost 3 months to the day from when they were last seen, their bodies were discovered in shallow graves not 26 miles south of Morgantown, but rather about 11 miles south. Shortly after the bodies were found, Triangle kept their promise to send more information, but not reveal who they were. 2 more letters would arrive, one to the police and one, disgustingly, to Marid's parents, this time giving information on the location of their heads. The letter to police was dated April 21st, 1970, and read, quote, "The heads can be found from the position of the bodies by striking out 10 degrees southwest for the first head."
What the fuck is this? The fucking Boy Scouts?
Yeah, seriously.
Enough.
And approximately 10 degrees southeast for the second, roughly 1 mile. You are already 7/10 of that mile. They are within the mine entrance. There's like an old mine in that area. If you can call it an entrance, considering its condition.
It sounds
They
like
are
a bad math test.
Math teacher. Yeah.
It's fair. Yeah, if the 2 trains are traveling at 10
Right.
degrees.
Yeah, my brain hates nothing more than
If
this
the body
shit.
is located at this location, the head is
Right,
located
10
at
degrees
degrees
southeast.
south.
10ths of that mile.
It's painful and I fucking hate it. They are buried not over 1 foot in depth. The ones responsible for the
Hi,
murders
Christine.
scattered some of the girls' personal effects over the general area, creating a pattern of confusion, making it difficult for you to pinpoint any exact location. My first 2 letters triggered your intensive search. Don't give up now. Sincerely, Triangle.
The fuck? So is Triangle now trying to distance themselves from whoever committed the murders?
Maybe.
Or at least trying to implicate that there are other parties.
Oh, I don't like you very much right now.
No, I know. I don't like me either. I get it. 1 week later, Marid's parents received a letter from Triangle, and this would be the last one sent. It read, quote, "I have sent 3 letters to the Morgantown State Police Department concerning your daughter, Marid, and Karen. The first and second were taken with some seriousness and instituted a search, which was successful in locating 2 bodies, minus the heads, which were needed for other purposes." All of a sudden, the police have been complaining about an error in the mileage stated in my second letter. After one has driven in an oval pattern for 26 miles under the weather conditions of January and under the involved circumstances, it is possible to make about an 18-mile error in the precise location of the body. Nevertheless, they were found or old mine. Both are the same.
Who is this nut job?
This is gross.
So gross. To this day, the girls' heads have never been located.
No.
And we'll circle back to these letters in a moment, but let's go over some forensics and like what we do know. Yeah, it sucks. By the time Marid and Karen's bodies were found, there had been a great deal of decomposition and animals had indeed gotten to them, which compromised some of the evidence in an already kind of archaic time of evidence collection in the first
Well, the
place.
animals are on the move now.
This is what year? Like 80?
1970s. Yeah, because of the state of decomposition, it could not be determined if the women had been sexually assaulted. The hope is that they were not, and there is not evidence to determine they were. Both bodies were even fully and neatly clothed, like including shoes, gloves, shirts tucked in, and even a pack of cigarettes tucked into the waistband of Marid's jeans, which she was known to have done herself.
That's some staging
So those weren't
shit,
like-
though, too. Possibly.
Well, it could be.
Possibly.
It could be, but that's a pretty small detail
Right.
to
that
stage.
she, like,
That, and
did
that's
that.
normal for her to do.
Right.
It's like you could have tucked them in the pocket, but you didn't. So, you know, it just alluded to the fact that they weren't planted there by the killer.
Right.
There were a few items of clothing missing from the girls' bodies, including Marid's fur-lined boots and Karen's fur coat, which we'll kind of circle back to the fur in a little bit.
Yeah.
Both women had all been wearing necklaces when they disappeared, and these were also missing, so possible trophies. I mean,
yeah.
they were decapitated, so...
Okay, sorry. That was horrible.
Yeah. Their Their clothes are also not bloody, which is a pretty baffling detail and could suggest that they were nude
I don't know.
when they were
It's
killed.
West
And
Virginia.
their clean clothes were put back on for their burial. But it's also like, it had to have been very meticulous to get everything as neat and
Wine
tidy
and
as
Crime
it was when you're
podcast.
dressing the like
A body.
I don't mean
corpse of someone
I don't
else.
mean to be gross, but the reason why I balked at them not having been undressed at all is because, like, I don't know, most people who kill,
West Virginia
who abduct and
crimes.
kill women like this,
Right.
sexually assault or mutilate them.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and
I mean, they were mutilated, but
A lot of them redress them.
Right.
And so the fact that there are cigarettes like tucked into the back pocket, my initial response was like, "Oh my God, he redressed
He
them
paid
the way he
attention.
found
yeah,
them."
he very well may have.
It's possible.
Yeah. It also cannot be determined exactly what tool was used to remove their heads, though the markings suggest a machete or a hatchet. So some like large
Hacking.
hacking tool.
And no blood, which is really weird.
Really weird, but also
They could
if
have
they were
already been dead.
if they were killed and then maybe stored or left for a
Right.
little while, and then that could also be why there wasn't like a bunch of blood all over their face,
Right.
you know? And then later, after blood flow is like pretty well done, staunched and coagulating, then the heads are removed for quote other purposes.
Yeah.
Other purposes, including like identification.
Mhm.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, dental records,
Or-
but they did identify them.
We've heard of worse reasons for heads.
Yes,
to be
Right.
and I'm hoping it's not that, but God only knows. So the first place to look for a suspect would obviously be in these letters. It was assumed, understandably so, that the killer was behind these letters. A thorough investigation, including handwriting analysis,
Yes, Rum
actually
Rose.
led police to the Psychic Science Church, a small religious cult of the 70s.
I was gonna say maybe
No,
the letter
good,
writer
Christine.
is a amateur
Look it up.
psychic who was like,
It's to
well, 18
inspire
miles
thought
off isn't
and
that
research.
bad, guys, and
Yeah, I mean, that last letter to the parents is very much like a, well, I was right.
I was pretty close, and
Yeah.
you're welcome.
I mean, you're spot on. That's exactly what's going on here. So, the cult leader, a man named Reverend
Kenny
Richard
Freed.
Warren Hoover,
A cult
you're
leader.
the cult leader, touted himself as a
West
psychic and claimed
Virginia
the
and the
information in the
cults.
letters was provided to him by a spirit during a seance. Oh God, they're doing this.
A spirit.
A spirit? In reality, he made all of it up using bits and pieces of the case that had been revealed in the news and in the community. Three individuals were connected to the letters and all cleared of any actual connection to Marit or Karen. But beyond being a fucking sick hoax and unimaginable torture to poor Marit's parents
Yeah.
and Karen's parents, but they didn't get a letter.
Unfucking forgivable. I don't care if you
Unforgivable.
genuinely think you're a psychic and like
No,
maybe
no.
you are,
Fuck
and I
off.
don't care if you
tease
think
the
you're
family.
helping me.
Fuck you.
Don't
It's so fucked up.
fucking contact the family that is
No.
fucked up.
No, this is, like you said, completely unforgivable.
Yeah.
But even beyond that, police had been so convinced that these letters came from the killer that they had even ruled out other suspects based on handwriting analysis.
That's not okay.
Nope. And according to reports I read, many of these suspects were not followed up on even after the letters turned out to be fake.
No, that's horrible. That is when you.
That's police misconduct.
Yeah.
It's completely.
Julia, they're not always
whole
this
case
bad.
It's irresponsible.
This
Right.
case
I'm
is
taking
pretty
any
bad.
handwriting to abduct and murder these two girls.
This is a
Women.
viewer.
6 years. I mean, women, but they were
Young.
basically kids. They were like 18
not
or
a
19
viewer,
years old.
a
Young
listener
Yeah.
chosen.
So 6
case.
years would pass with very little investment from investigators into this case when an answer seemingly fell into their lap. In 1976, a man named Eugene Paul Clausen was serving a prison sentence in New Jersey for sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl. While in prison, he came forward to confess to killing Marit and Karen. Some things did fit here. He was born and raised in Morgantown, West Virginia, and so he would know the area well. He was a repeat sexual offender, typically preying on young women and girls. But, like, why come forward after 6 years? Well, he claimed that he was having repeat nightmares about their murders and that what he had done was haunting him, and if he was in prison anyway, he felt that he should confess, which, like, okay, fair enough. We see this happen all the time.
Yeah. Maybe don't kidnap, rape, murder, and decapitate people if you
How about
don't want to
that?
have bad dreams.
But if you have a moment, of course.
Yeah, then confess.
Yeah.
Okay, so he passed a polygraph, which we know is a polarizing tool, but even if we remove the polygraph information,
Past a polygraph meaning
that he did it.
that he was telling the truth about having done it.
Correct.
Okay.
But his confession had a lot of red flags. First, it contained a bunch of incorrect information about the crimes. He said he placed the bodies side by side in their grave in the woods, but investigators found the girls stacked on top of each other.
That is, oh god,
It's
that's so
so
horrible.
fucking sad. The girl on the bottom was face down, and the girl on the top was facing up on her back. So they were like back to back, stacked. He said they were.
buried at the same time.
Yep. And they weren't even really buried. It was like there was a little bit of a ditch and then like brush put over them. He also said when he picked up the girls, he had pulled out a gun and told them to sit in the back seat of his car. But the friends who had seen them get into the cream-colored sedan had not seen any weapon and clearly remembered the two girls sitting in the front seat, which was like one of those old 70s cars with a front middle seat, no center console.
Yeah,
Like my parents used to have a car like that.
yeah.
So they
This
both
is
got in the front seat.
like a bench seat.
It's one bench seat in the front seat and a bench seat in the back, and the friends were like, no, they
In the
drove
front
off in the
seat.
front seat. They were not in the back seat.
I
And the
mean,
most-
maybe he meant that like
after they got out of town,
he pulled the gun and made them move to the back seat.
very possible.
Are we
Well, I don't know.
really giving credence to this
We are,
man?
and we'll get to it.
Okay.
Because it's actually not likely that he did.
Oh,
Most of the red flags, like the most telling red flag was that all of the errors that he was giving in his statement were the same as a dramatized write-up on this case that had been released in a magazine called Detective Cases. It's kind of like True Story magazine, but for true crime,
yeah.
which it's entirely possible Eugene got his hands on while in prison and was inspired to make a confession. He also claimed that he had the girls undressed, sexually assaulted them to climax multiple times for himself, and then had them get dressed again before killing them, which tracks, but they didn't, I mean, and I guess it was months later, but they didn't find any, like, semen or anything in these girls. And if that is the case, why were they dressed, like, so exactly how they were last
neatly.
seen? So neatly, down to the cigarettes tucked in Mara's waistband. Like, if they had both just been raped,
Yeah, their clothes would have been
maybe a little more disheveled,
right.
not
Right.
so neatly put back on.
Right.
And why was there no blood on their clothes? Like, it's a little weird if they dressed themselves and weren't redressed after being killed. And beyond that, this is like, for me, this is the biggest smoking gun. For him to claim to have climaxed several times is medically, like, almost impossible for him, because Eugene suffered from a chromosomal abnormality called Klinefelter syndrome. And a symptom he had was severe erectile dysfunction. Like, he physically could not have performed the act the way that he claimed.
So he was essentially fantasizing
That's what it sounds like.
and had taken these details from a magazine and then was fantasizing and building himself up,
Oh my
talking
God.
about how he was able to climax multiple times.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Because that's what he would want to have happen in his fantasy. Oh my god, that is so fucked up.
Yeah.
Everything
So
about this is so fucked up.
I know, fan picker. So despite all of these inaccuracies and Eugene eventually recanting his confession, when everybody was like, wait, he was like, yeah, that's actually not what happened. He proceeded to trial because the cops were like, well, we've got our
I
guy.
hate these cops. Jesus Christ.
He was convicted of Barrett and Karen's murders in 1977, but that verdict was overturned by the West Virginia Supreme Court because the prosecution was fucking shady and was found to have made false statements during trial about presented evidence. 3 years later, in 1980, Eugene went back to trial for these murders. This time he testified that he made a false confession in an attempt to be transferred away from the new prison to West Virginia because he was under the impression that if he got, like, moved because he was convicted of another crime, then he wouldn't have to continue to face the consequences of his charges for the sexual assault in New Jersey.
Oh,
This
like
is
it just
obviously-
replaced the previous
Right.
crime conviction.
This is obviously very stupid
That's what
logic.
happens.
Yeah, it's very stupid logic. Confessing to one crime does not erase the
Do
sentence of
you
another.
think it was for a couple reasons that, like, one, he's from West Virginia, so he wanted to be closer to family to visit him in prison
Could
in
have
West
been.
Virginia, if he had anyone to do that? And
Could have been.
two, if he's in prison in New Jersey for sexually assaulting a child, maybe he's not that popular in prison, and so if he gets moved to West Virginia for murders of two technically adults,
Could be.
maybe he wouldn't be like as targeted in prison.
Maybe.
Could be both.
I mean, if that was his motive, he certainly didn't say that.
Right.
And he also, like, tested below 70 in IQ.
Yeah.
So he was, like, not...
Maybe not thinking through all of it. He
He's-
just
yeah.
got something in his mind and went for it.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
So it was looking less and less likely that he was actually the culprit of this crime, and this was still in the before times when it comes to forensic evidence. But the jury still
anybody has
convicted
to go
him in
potty,
the second
speak
trial,
now.
and he died in prison in 2009 while serving his sentence.
Oh my God.
Hey.
Yep. But looking back on this case with a more advanced understanding of forensic evidence, many professionals believe that Eugene was not the killer.
We need to there needs to be more awareness in the community, in the jury pool across the country of false confessions.
False confessions. There's a really good...
Like, they're so much more common than I think we think they are, for like a myriad of reasons. Like,
Hidden
for,
brain.
like, yes,
Like
like
a really good Hidden Brain episode about it.
police coercion, false confessions, and then also just like wackadoo false confessions.
Oh yeah, very common. So if
The
he was a
Confession
killer,
is it's on Netflix, and it's about this guy who just, I think he was a murderer, but he confessed to like dozens more murders than he was actually
Actually
responsible
committed.
for.
Confessing for clout, confessing for like different conditions
Yeah.
in prison, or like just because you're bored in prison.
I think it
Or,
was like him and his brother or something, but he was like, oh, well, I've already gone to prison for life. I might as well confess to,
yeah, rack up my
Dozens more
literal body
murders.
count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, just for the, just
Or
like you said,
even
just for
like
clout.
gang
Yeah, the
members like
traffic's smooth.
confessing to other people's
It's a
crimes
little
for them
crowded,
in order
but
for
it's
like
not too bad.
commissary money when they're inside,
Right.
or
The
like
trucks,
money
the
to their
trucks are
families.
being bullies.
It's equally as frustrating, I'm sure, for like authorities as for serial killers who will confess to like, 10 out of their 15 murders.
Yeah.
And then keep those last five like for themselves.
Right.
Kind of
It's
the same
fucked
thing.
up on both sides, yeah, and it's both frustrating. So some investigators benefit from false confessions.
Oh, totally. Absolutely.
Okay.
Clearance.
But clearance rates. But if Eugene was not the killer, who was? There were a handful of other suspects that could be responsible, and we'll go over some of those now. So one was a man named William Bernard Hacker, rightfully named, who was arrested for murdering and decapitating a man in Maryland in 1970. And remember
it's
that
cold, but at least it's
well,
not
I guess
raining
the
and
letters were
snowing.
sent from Maryland, but we know the letters
What
weren't
is the
from the
what?
killer. But like, if the killer was in Maryland and this cult that was sending the letters was
Wine
in Maryland,
and
there could be a
crime.
connection there. I don't know.
I play it on
So
Spotify.
he was arrested for murdering and decapitating a man in Maryland in 1970. Now he wasn't arrested in 1970, but that's when he killed someone.
Okay.
He had been born in West Virginia, where he spent most of his life, even working as a young child in a mine very close to where Marin and Karen were found. It's possible that he was connected to several decapitations near where he lived in that area from 1921 to
No,
1952.
wine and
I literally have
crime.
no idea
C-R-I-M-E.
But he was apparently convicted of a double murder in 1952, but was released from prison in 1966.
There were like shockingly short sentences
Yeah.
in the 50s and 60s. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I just recently covered a case like this where, it was Gaskins.
Yeah.
Pee Wee Gaskins. And he
Yes.
just kept going
Yes.
to prison for like 6
And then
years, and then he was
Being
out.
While he had been in prison in that time, there were shockingly 0 decapitations in the area.
Oh.
And then after he got out, there was another quote, unsolved decapitation almost immediately. Then 2 more in 1967, another in 1968, and then Marit and Karen were killed in 1970.
Okay, well, I feel like it's this guy.
Well, maybe.
Call me crazy, but
I thought that too, but there's another
if
one.
the
that
decapitation's like picked back up,
They did. William was arrested for the 1968 murder in late 1970, so it would be after they were kidnapped and killed. And weirdly enough, once he went back to prison, the quote unsolved beheadings once again stopped. Very sus. This guy's that it's likely he committed, but they like just couldn't connect the two. But that's a very, very solid,
Very specific MO
Very
and also local.
Yep. Another possibility was a man named Eddie Slaughter.
Hacker or slaughter?
Hacker or Slaughter. Pick your poison. Pick your fighter.
don't love. No.
No.
Meow.
Some names should be illegal.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Slaughter is like a very common last name.
So common.
And it's weird.
Could it
It's
be
fucking
Slafter?
weird. Slafter.
Can we call it
Eddie
Slafter?
Eddie worked in the same dorm where Marit and Karen lived, and he left that job shortly after they went missing. A brave young woman came forward shortly before Marit and Karen's bodies were found. And so after they had gone missing, but before their bodies were found, the investigation's really ramping up. And like everyone's talking about this, and this young woman is like, oh fuck, I had this weird encounter, I'm gonna tell the police. So this woman was aware of their disappearance and felt it relevant to report an encounter that she had with Eddie about a month before the girls disappeared. She said that she was standing outside at a gas station when Eddie pulled up and offered her a ride. Now, in my research, I don't know what kind of cars these people drove.
Yeah. Was it a
So
cream-colored sedan?
I'm not sure, but it was also the 70s, so like everyone drove a cream-colored sedan.
Right. There was only sedan cars.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like that was specifically not
It's
mentioned
the
because
only
it's like
cars that exist.
the only car that existed.
It was either a sedan or a truck. Nothing else.
A
existed.
sedan, an old truck, or like an orange Volkswagen Beetle. Those are the 3 cars that existed.
Right.
A Wagoneer.
Exactly. So she said that she was, again, standing outside at a gas station when Eddie pulled up and offered her a ride. She declined, saying that her friends were coming to pick her up, but it was cold outside. This is December, it's like a month before the girls disappeared. So he managed to convince her to sit in his car and warm up while she's waiting for her friends. She remembered him making her so uncomfortable and that he was obsessing over the clothes she was wearing, specifically her fur coat, which was missing from Karen.
No.
Karen was also wearing a fur coat. And that he kept saying how much he, quote, loved to rub furry things.
Oh, no.
Which was fucking it for this girl. She was like, nope. She got out of the car. He drove off. Police
I mean,
looked
I
into him.
also like to rub furry things.
Yeah,
but not like
yeah,
a
but
creepy
you're not
way.
Only
picking
tell
up
your
random.
friends.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pick someone up and like start touching their coat.
Yeah.
Or even just
Without
talking
asking
about
anyway.
but the items of clothing that are missing are fur-lined boots
Yeah.
from Marit and a fur coat from Karen.
Did you get a good night's sleep
And the
finally?
2 necklaces. So police looked into him and found that he was indeed employed at
He
WVU at
sounds
the time
pretty
of Marit and
creepy,
Karen's
doesn't he?
disappearance, and that he had called sick into work on January 18th and 19th. The girls had gone missing on the 18th. They had already received the triangle letters by the time they were looking into him, so they went to his home and got a sample for handwriting analysis.
Right, which had
He,
nothing
of
to do
course,
with it.
didn't match.
Perfect match. Oh.
He didn't match because the stupid fake
Yeah,
Colt
the
wrote the
letters
letters.
were irrelevant.
The letters were irrelevant, so he wasn't a match, and they dismissed him as a suspect, and he's one of the possible killers who was not followed up on after the letters were determined to be a hoax. I personally think it was him.
God.
But the fucking beheader. Unless Eddie knew about the beheader.
And was trying to cover it up.
Yes. And
Trying to
so
make it
he
look like
went
someone else.
back, and the blood
And cut
was
their
already
heads off.
stopped bleeding.
Maybe.
How can there be this many gross fucking people in such a small area?
Well,
Yeah,
there
I mean,
are
there's
a
one
lot
more.
of disgusting men. Turns
So
out
many.
there are just way
Hey,
more
hey,
disgusting
hey,
men
what did
than
she
you
just
even
say?
9 out of 10
realize,
then.
and like that is like I fucking shudder to think. Like it is.
Never meet a man.
Pause, but never meet a man.
There was also a serial killer
Dang it,
active in that
I'm-
area around that time.
Ah,
The 70s
of
were
course.
incredible. A man named John Brennan Crutchley.
Yeah.
Hacker, slaughter, and
Crutchley.
Okay, pause. She just said, how can there be so many gross people in one area? Remember, this is West Virginia crimes. Hey, if y'all check out the podcast, if y'all check it out, send them an email. Tell them I sent you over. I got a text from Lori. She's in Texas. What else was I going to say? I don't know. Forgot already. Yeah, exactly. Good for her. Her attorneys are covering what needs to be covered, I guess. She should, anyways. That's all. There was no detail. F-word flying left and right. What? What was going on? Yeah, I knew that too, but I didn't really want to say it right yet. Oops, there we go again. Yeah, I'm glad for her too. Get out of the cold for one thing. Oh, out of the lonely house. She can get out of the closet now. I don't know, these trucks, like, if I try to pass this flatbed, somebody's gonna get on my ass. I'm assuming that's where she is. But you know what they say about assuming. Go ahead. Get it. If you're gonna get it, get it. No, I guess he's not. Old school truck stop right there. Notice they're called travel centers mostly now, not truck stops. Why y'all talking about the van? Scott's here, or he was a minute ago. There we go. Now maybe I can ride right here. Looks like we got some open drink some water anyway. All right, back to the crime. It's almost done.
And I think this John Brennan Crutchley guy became known as like the vampire rapist.
Yeah.
Hard, I didn't go too deeply into him because I actually don't think this guy did it.
No.
But
People who
what?
live in Morgantown, get out.
Run.
In West Virginia.
If you live in
Let's
West
go.
Virginia, get out.
Let's see what happens. So this murderer's sister had attended WVU in 1970, so that's a connection. His father worked at the company who happened to own the land where the girls' bodies were found. And he was confirmed to have been on a break from school over the time that Bard and Karen went missing. However, all of this connecting to him is strictly circumstantial. Nothing can actually put him in Morgantown on the day the girls disappeared.
But we
So I
know
feel like
he
this
was
is
a serial killer.
We do know
What
that.
was his MO, do you know?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I was already
We've got a lot.
so
We've got a
far
lot.
gone.
Yeah.
But feel free
Oh,
to jump
P.S.
in.
there was an active serial killer at the time. I didn't have time to get into it.
I didn't.
There was a
There are
lot.
too many other
No, I know,
more
I just-
likely suspects.
Oh, Crutchley is. Oh, he's
Really creepy.
really creepy looking.
Is it the vampire rapist guy?
Yeah. Well, Slask is convicted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drop the
Yeah.
picture.
He's not.
You. I don't know
I'll
that you're
never
ready.
be ready, but go ahead.
Do it. Drop it.
Oh god. Okay. Oh wow. Oh, Crutchley.
Oh, he's suspected of murdering up to 30 women.
No.
Not great. Not great. No. So
When you have glasses that big and eyes that small and
tone it the
lips
fuck
that
down.
thin, you're not gonna get away with anything. Ugh.
Oh, you can
So
like,
this case remains
hear
open
this on their
and
website.
active. Like just this past
And
summer,
look at the
forensic professionals
pictures.
set up a full-blown like archaeological excavation of
I've
the
never
area
done it,
where
but
the
you
girls
can.
were found in search of like heretofore undiscovered evidence. They're still looking for the fucking heads, and they dispatched cadaver dogs to look for them. Used ground X-ray technology to aid in their search. Made a huge grid, and none of it has yielded.
Yeah,
us
there you
looking
go,
up.
Christine.
So this case, like,
That's what
while
I
it's
usually do.
quote,
I just
unquote,
Google
closed in the court.
what they're
It's
talking
not.
about.
It's not. Like,
Yeah, that Eugene
That
guy
fucking
was
guy
creepy,
didn't
but
do it.
no.
he didn't do. I really don't think he did it.
No.
And now, this case is over 50 years old.
Wow.
It's so fucking sad. I hadn't heard of this case. This case is wild.
All right, let's vote on the suspects. We have Hacker, Slaughter, Crutchley,
Yep.
or Eugene.
Eugene.
confessed.
I'm a Slaughter. I think
The
it was
janitor.
Slaughter.
I'm a slaughter
I think it was
too.
the janitor.
I'm a slaughter too.
I don't know. Hacker or
It's a
Slaughter.
toss-up between Hacker and Slaughter, but the fact that Slaughter worked in their dorm,
Hacker
their
or
dorm.
Slaughter?
And then
in
called in
their
sick
dorm.
to work. It's the call in
The
sick to
day-
work for me.
yeah,
Because like the
it's-
fur thing, maybe he was just high and like
Who doesn't like fur?
right.
Everyone likes
Everybody
fur,
likes
but
to rub furry things.
right, not fur specifically, but you know, yes, there she goes. Grabs her.
Jelly Beth.
Jelly Beth. Yeah, the Eugene Slaughter thing is the one that
Eddie
really sticks. Sorry, Eddie Slaughter really sticks in my craw, as they say.
I'm a slaughter.
Yeah,
I'm a slaughter
Scotty
side.
likes fur.
Are you a hacker? Can you?
The beheadings, I think it's Slaughter, but I like my theory of he went back on the 19th and was like, shit, I gotta cover this up and make it look like it's this unsolved beheading guy.
Yes,
I can see
but
that.
how many murderers
Yes.
have the foresight to be like, oh,
I've
I
seen
really want
Lori.
to kill someone, so I'm going to make it look like someone else did.
It wouldn't have to be foresight. It could have been afterthought. I'm saying
Yeah,
it was
he could have gone
afterthought.
back.
Like
He could have gone back
like,
a day or two after.
he realizes they've already been reported missing right away, and he gets a little spooked and he goes back.
Cuts their heads off, potentially for evidence / trophies /
Right.
to throw off
That
the
would
MO.
explain the blood too.
Right.
Yep,
That's what I'm
the
saying.
lack of blood. Weird, right? I do think that the no blood on the clothes thing really makes me think that either they were fully nude, but I also feel like we would know that, like there's so many blood on their
Ruth.
skin.
Well, she's got
and
an
stuff,
attorney to
but, like,
take care of
that
the
wasn't
court.
mentioned in any reports. Granted, a lot of this stuff is like old articles from the 70s, so I don't know how gory they're going to
I don't
get
think
with
I
it,
would
but
sort of
want
like
a
Emma,
skunk
like,
tail. Maybe a raccoon.
wash them afterwards. Or,
Maybe.
like, took all their clothes.
yeah, I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Really?
Skunks
No,
are
no.
beautiful,
Also, if he
but
just got his jollies off on the fur, then he wouldn't have to have actually sexually assaulted them.
Right.
Like if he just got his jollies off on the death and the fur.
He still would have
Yup.
killed them.
I
though.
know.
Yeah.
And like
But they were
there
saying
would have
there
been
wasn't
blood.
evidence of, right. But she's saying that this
Post-mortem.
tracks with the lack of evidence of sexual
Right,
assault.
right.
Yeah.
That's what she's connecting.
Also,
Yeah,
as
no,
I'm just
it's,
stroking jelly bags.
You're really soothing yourself, and it's making me soothed through the television. So, thank you. But anyway, that's my case.
Holy fucking shit.
I'm serious.
I know!
That's one of the craziest cases I think you've ever
Decent.
covered.
I think so too. It was
She
very
was
fascinating.
spicy.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I texted them earlier, and I was like, this
She's
is
spicy.
a spicy case.
Well,
Well, thank
fucking
you
yikes.
to our fan picker, Andriana, for selecting this topic and sending that case. That was
Yeah.
fascinating.
Really
Good.
fascinating.
Fucking bored.
I know
Yep.
what I'm going to be doing the next time I visit my aunt and uncle's cabin in West Virginia.
I'm gonna be avoiding West Virginia.
Looking for heads.
Looking for heads.
Oh.
Headhunters.
And hunting.
All right. We will
All
see
right.
you next week.
We're bad people. We're so sorry. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Crime. Our cover art is
bye. They're actually really funny. And when they first started the podcast, they taught about wine at the beginning of every episode. And they paired a wine with the episode. So I learned a lot. But I think they ran out of, they got tired of wines, so now they try to come up with some other kind of drink sometimes. But most of the time they pair it with a wine. Sometimes they do history. Sometimes they talk about psychology, medical stuff, depending on what the episode is. There's one called Puritanical Crimes that was kind of interesting. Raccoons are smart and mischievous and a pain in the ass, and they will bite you in your butt if you're having sex in front of a raccoon. So, pet raccoons are out. Yeah, I believe so. About an hour away. Rolling. Keep them doggies rolling. Let's keep the tires rolling. Oh, geez. I bet they have a mafia plan going on there. Do you watch the politics? Like, you know who the big daddy is? And we used to raise ducks. And we always, they used to plot stuff, those ducks. I bet those coons be plotting. That'd be hilarious to watch. Maybe you should put a live stream out there in the abandoned house. Look, I gotta tighten that nut again. I bet it does stink. You don't go out there. Might have to stop and do that. You guys feel like you're at the fair or the, what's it called? What is that place called where you go and ride the rides? Carnival. I still haven't worked at a carnival. Yes, I did. When I was a teenager, I worked at Frontier Days in Cheyenne, Wyoming, selling popcorn. Carney. Yeah, I've always wanted to be a carney. So that's still on my bucket list. Yeah, you can go around me. Go ahead. I raised pygmy goats, Rumrose. Oh, and I had a couple of Angora goats. My dog is so quiet. I always panic about whether he's in here or not. Yeah, goats are hilarious, but they eat everything and they jump on cars. I had one that I raised in the house. His name was Baby. The first night I had to make him sleep outside and go to the barn was so sad. You have fainting goats? Do you have other livestock that you have the fainting goats for? Or you just have them for the goats? Oh my goodness, there's a lot of traffic on this road now. All behind me. Like I'm passing everybody, but they're all lined up behind me too. What the heck? Let some of them go. Rhodesian Ridgeback that killed one of my goats. Killed a cat, killed a goat. I had to get rid of her. She only liked my son. And she killed the other animals, so that doesn't work out. He's mostly getting breast milk. Anyway, so it's fine. Goat milk is great. There you go again. Slipping, slipping and sliding. Get goat milk soap from Hot Mess Summer. Just saying. If anybody's looking for some. 4. I don't know why I say that. There's a couple of things I say that I really don't like. Fur is one of them. One of them. Why did I say fur? If you're looking for goat soap, if you're looking for goat soap. Looking for some of that hillbilly, huh? Okay, it's getting a little bit warm. Yeah. Hi, Nurse D. What's up? Yeah. Some words can be overused for sure. Oh, my ears just popped. That's so much. Oh, you're back. Hi. When they really lay on thick, their Minnesotan accent, they're so funny. Okay, let's try to tighten this again. I guess I'm just not strong enough because it feels tight to me. talking foam mount. Most definitely. That's what it's called, foam mount. Hey, when I went to get fuel, they had something called Canadip. Have y'all ever heard of Canadip? Like Skull, only, I don't know, I didn't look at it. I just saw the advertisement. Have you ever heard of that? I've never heard of it before that I remember. Now, sometimes I forget stuff. Huh. Interesting. So, it's just the canna leaves, I suppose. Is it? Or is it have tobacco? Tell me about this. Somebody educate me. Thank you, Sirius. Leaves, maybe. Then it shouldn't be illegal anywhere in Martinsburg, 34 miles. So they still have to sell them at the dispensaries. Huh. Okay, well. They had a flat tire, darn it. What you mean? I can't think of the words most of the time. Y'all have to think for me. Well, maybe next time I go to the smoke shop or maybe I'll have them educate me. They had to try to educate me about Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta this, Delta that, but they didn't educate me very good. Come on, truck. Have to get out the way of the popo. Anxiety inducing. And it's just Virginia. Whew. wasn't trying to race the police. You want to race the police, you race the police. Gonna go flying by for what? To come up here and get in front of the trooper. The heck? Now what are we doing? Just what the heck is going on here? Freedom babies for everyone. Yes. No. I'll have none. Oh. Convoy babies coming soon. Next chapter. And I thought there were no love stories. What was I thinking? This soap opera has it all. Comedy, intrigue, romance, drama, violence, manipulation, greed. What else? What more could we ask for? Who said love? Oh, you're right. Is there any love? I don't know. Okay. Is anybody really in love with his queen bride, Marlene? whiz. The little whiz. That's funny. Whatever. Ain't none of them mine. Oh my gosh, we could be naming strains all day, man. It's like there's more strains now than there are, I don't know, any other kind of flower in the world. You can grow weed hydroponically. We used to grow Dakine back in the day in Hawaii. Dakine. Stronger than anything else you could get in the United States. Or unless you got some Thai stick or Afghani or something. How are you getting seedy ounces? You can't hardly get seeds in your weed anymore. That's one thing I very, very, very miss about Colorado is the dispensaries. Every other corner, at least one dispensary. Wow. I don't know what to say, Cameron. Take that shit back unless you want the seeds. And if you want that, plant the seeds. That's what I would do. Because you probably smoked the weed, so you probably can't take it back. Ruth, you've never seen weed in real life? Do you have grandkids? What state are you? Where do you? Well, if you want to say, what state do you live in? Ah, there you go again. Bloop. Yeah, I don't do those rides at the carnival at all anymore. I used to do a few of them, but up, and then it drops real fast. That's what this phone is reminding me of today. right. As soon as I can, I'll pull over and see if I can tighten that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't throw up on me. I'm gonna try to fix it. Hold on. We're gonna take care of this emergency situation. Where can we put? We're almost there. We're not too far away. Thought I might take y'all for a ride through town because this town actually is pretty cool. I don't even know if Scotty has taken you. Let's see. Do we go through? Oh, it's Martinsburg. Okay. Looks like there's some place to pull over here in a minute. Maybe. Plus, because I know how to use the phone programs, if I buy other Samsung techie stuff, it all connects. So if I turn on the computer, it's already connected with the same apps, everything.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-81 North.
Yes, that's what I would like to do, if you don't mind. Now it's getting cold. Like, we can't regulate the temperature in here. Either too hot or too cold. Don't get a Phillips, they suck. Okay, let's see. Okay, bear with me if my fingers get in the way. Oops, what are we doing here? I don't need to see that right now. What happened? Oops. Go away. Oh, what the heck? Ah! I did something weird and I don't know how to fix it. There, got it. Okay, now. That's as tight as I can get it. I don't want it so tight that it won't. No, that's not going to do it either. Huh. Wonder what the answer is here. See, now it's so tight I can't get it undone. we go like that? Straighten this out a little bit. Be aware. How's that view? Does that look good? No, I'm just gonna have to have somebody else tighten it, I think. Pliers. I have pliers. Y'all don't even care about this. You're just talking about TVs. Isn't that nice? The huge cross. Alright, that's the best I can do right now. Without getting out and digging out some tools. I've had Vizios before too. I think, but that was a long, long time ago. Okay. That does look nice, huh? That is a good view. Hello. Are you good, baby? He's probably ready for some water.
Continue on I-81 north for 17 miles.
How fast are these people going? They're like flying by me. Thank you, Zoe. There they go. What is that kind of band? What? I missed that. What was that? Oh no.
Welcome to West Virginia.
I can't look right now. Oh, we're in West Virginia. Got to pay attention. We should have just passed Bunker Hill. I missed it. would get yes, some people still look at maps. I use okay, why is there suddenly 111 people in here? Who sent their chat over here to spy? Because we were on a bumpy road, probably. I use maps for crafts. Maps are good for crafting. Maps are good for reading as well, though. If you don't know how to read a map, you should learn, because when the grid goes down, you're not going to have Google to rely on. I keep telling my daughter that, and she doesn't take me serious. Maybe she's just so sure that she'll have somebody around her that will read the map for her. I don't know. What? Oh, tissue. In a minute, well, I think I'll take you for a ride down through the middle of town, because it's actually kind of cool. Y'all, I have a bug out bag in here. I have a bug out bag for my truck. Not only is my truck a bug out, someday I'm going to give you a tour of my truck. I could jump in my truck and survive for quite a while. Always be prepared. In this crazy world, you must always be prepared. Of course, being prepared is nothing new, because we didn't always have convenience stations along the route here in America. Yeah, growing up in Wyoming, we were taught to keep the car. The car was always prepared to be stuck in snow. So, yeah, I'm prepared to be camped out with my truck, but I also have a bag that if I have to leave my truck, I have a bag to take with me. The Left Behind series made me think about that. If everything goes down and all the cars are gridlocked and you can't get anywhere, I'm going to get my bug out bag and hike it somewhere. I think. Not very far per day, probably, but. Plugging in too, so you just be prepared to hunt in case of an emergency. You have your extra water, you know. Yeah, that's called bugging in, Jules. Ruth, that's I'm sure a lot of it comes from that. A lot of it comes from, like I said, growing up in pretty severe weather conditions in the winter. My dad was Navy, so he was always teaching us survival skills and camping skills and bug out skills and what to do if you get lost, what to do for heat if your car gets stuck in a snowdrift. He did instill me with those common sense skills. Instill in me. How does that go? Emergency lights. This is looking familiar.
Half a mile, take exit 14 for County Route 13, Dry Run Road toward Tennessee Avenue.
great time to diet.
Take exit 14, then turn right onto County Route 13. Turn right onto County Route 13, Dry Run Road.
That's what I keep telling people. When shit hits the fan, I'm going to last longer than everybody. So what's
Continue for
this?
1 mile.
Berkeley Medical Center. I'm going to pull over here for a second and turn the map off. And then I'm just going to take you for a ride, I think, around this town. Hold on. Oops. Okay, are we back? All right. If I can remember. If we can keep I don't like to be called sassy pants. I wouldn't be able to do that. Let's see. Where am I trying to go? No. Okay. There's a park down there. You know I'm live still. Why are you Hold on, y'all. Oops, no, I missed it. I'll catch it in a minute. I like hot weather. All right, we're back. This is just a really cool town. I think it's really cool as far as the architecture and some of the buildings and the way the yards are decorated. But the Popo, not so much. Narrow streets. I've been afraid to drive through here just to do sightseeing. one day I want to come through and take some pictures. Some great photo opportunities. Let's see if we find some. Caribbean Swag Salon and Beauty Supplies. Huh. Yes, Special K. I'm just taking you sightseeing right now. See? They don't all look alike. They have, each one has its own character. We need some fresh air. Yes, exactly. They used to build stuff to last. They don't build stuff last anymore. Okay, this is what I was after. Look. Some cool yard decor. Look, the people behind me are going to get mad because I'm sightseeing instead of driving. We'll pull over and let them go by, but then there'll just be more. There'll just be even these little strip malls. Remember these strip malls? This one's, what do you think? 60s, 70s maybe, probably. That's not that old, but it's houses. Brr. Now it's cold. See, can't regulate my temperature. In time for the red light. Black Lives Matter. Huh. Shack. Oops. This sign over here has a mouth with one tooth missing, and it says, "What's missing here?" That's kind of rude. Slab City's free, Julie. Yeah, wherever you can find a spot. Park it, plan it, tent it. There's lots of places though. Quartzsite, Arizona is huge in the winter. There's places in Oregon you can go call it. Well, in the summer, there's lots of BLM land in the summer. And not Black Lives Matter, Bureau of Land Management, BLM land. So, if you all pay attention, you will start noticing. Oops. Let's see. Rapid Lube. I think that's actually an oil change place. Haha. What's this? Josephine's? What is that? What is Josephine's? Besides a liquor store. Copper Still Pub and Grill. Okay, this is Pikeside. This is not Martinsburg anymore. Are these people hitchhiking? Oh, this one is up here. It's like, you're going the wrong way, honey. Winchester and Western Railroad. Phone getting hot? Kind of. I liked this drive when we were hanging out. There were so many interesting things along this route. Yes, Rum Rose, thank you. I do. Tonight, don't know yet about tomorrow night. I did bring my heavy quilt and some blankets and lots of warm clothes. I way overpacked. Problem is, I never know for sure where I'm going, how long I'll be gone. Like, I could decide to go from here to Florida. You never know. So, it's kind of hard to pack accordingly. So I could have packed like a small bag with like 2 or 3 outfits, but I packed several, and I packed for different temperatures, different layers. Oh my goodness, it's too hard. Mexico, South America, Belize. Well, Mexico's only better if you already have a check or you have money. Thank you, Rumrose. I usually, if I can't at least put in a little bit of effort to coordinate my outfit and fix up my hair, I won't leave the house. But that's the hard part, getting dressed, right? Oh the appointment I had on Friday, I had an appointment with the neurologist in Salem, and that's like 2-hour drive away. And I've been trying to get this appointment for over 3-4 years. Had one in Colorado, and then we moved, so I had to try to get it again. Thank you, Lorraine. You guys are silly. But I can accept a compliment. Thank you. Anyway, I had the appointment was finally scheduled here in Virginia for a few weeks ago, and I got halfway there and realized I was going to be over 30 minutes late. Partly traffic, weather. I mean, I had left with 2 hours. I should have had plenty of time. I don't know. But anyway, so I called, we rescheduled. So Friday, I was struggling to get out of the house and procrastinating like crazy. And it wasn't even an early morning appointment. It was an afternoon appointment. And I was like 20 minutes late. And I begged and pleaded. I was like, this is so traumatic for me to get here. Please don't turn me away. And they were very kind and got me in. And I felt listened to and understood. And this doctor, I think, at least is creating a plan. So, yay for that. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes you have to tuck your tail and schedule another day. Oh, you should get fixed up. Yes, you should get a persona. Even if it has to be a character. That's what it started for me. Like, just get a style, get a fashion, play with it, have fun with it, and get a persona. And when you leave the house, hold your head up, Suck your tummy muscles in, shoulders back, chest out, head up, and pretend like you have confidence even if you don't. Because there is something to fake it till you make it. And it helps. So jazz yourself up. Put on a costume. That's what I used to call it. Put on my jewelry. Never been, since high school, I haven't been big on makeup. So I do put on a little bit sometimes. But if you just, any of this looking familiar yet? Yeah, jazz yourself up a little bit. Do something that can identify you as your style. Be the hat girl. Be the scarf girl. Now pretending to be okay is one thing. Acting a role to support yourself is another thing. Yeah, I'm not saying pretend. I'm not saying cover up necessarily, but we have to survive. So we have to come up with some coping skills that are positive. Taking your camera for a walk, that's perfect. I love walking and taking photos as well. I put Angels, here we go, Angels Bar and Grill. What do we got? There's the EMS station. Tiki's Pub and Grub. Posted on Facebook, hashtag walk with me, with photos along my walk. That was fun. Okay, where these darn traffic circles again. Oops. Didn't yield very well with that one. $5111 Lounge, the White House. Interesting. Bunker Hill. Unincorporated. Used car dealers, working out of houses. Zoning rules would be interesting to look into here. What's this? Vincent's Club, Overland, and many of them have a very criminal history. More auto sales. Elysium Gentlemen's Club. It's another one. That's why Big D enjoys it here so much. Don't know which one it was they went to sing karaoke. I don't know. I didn't go. Looks like it used to be a church. Foxy Lady Gentleman Club. Necessarily opposed to gentlemen's clubs or anything like that. It's just kind of weird that there's like so many on this road in this area, in this county. Just surprises me, I guess. Attention when certain rodents were protesting trans teenagers? Is that what happened? Question mark. That's what I heard. That's good money right there. Storage facilities. We should be coming up on the infamous Jackie's pretty soon. Why? I mean, what was the issue? What was the issue? And why are they involved? I'm trying to understand. If anybody can explain, I guess maybe she's the only one that can explain. Okay, y'all, here we are. Back to where it all started. No semis. What goes on over there under that little orange curtain? Go say hi to State Farm. No, I'm not gonna bust in on. There's Jackie's over there. Oh, I can't really do it. It won't bend up. It won't bend. Oh, spin rocks? No, we don't want the cops following us. We don't want a po-po on our tail. And these people see my truck, they probably already called the po-po. So, because regardless of what the owners, yeah, and the homeless camp, regardless of what the owners of this lot said, when I asked them, do you support pedophiles? And they told me no, they did. So, they definitely did. There. That's better. So there you have it, everybody. I'm going to check out and go park it somewhere before I use up all my gas, my fuel. They're all at Chip's mom's place. I'm not looking for them. Oh gosh, that's crazy. This protesting children and teenagers. Oh. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go. I got stuff to do, people to see. I'll talk to you soon.